Hi! Hello, all, and welcome. I'm your not-so-humble Game Master TJ, and this is Dice of Ages, presenting CrestVahllen, the Argent Flame, episode 92. Awesome, cool. And these are all our very injured compatriots. Say hi, our very injured compatriots.
Hi, injured compatriots.
Injured compatriots.
Why is there blood here?
Okay, cool. So we're going to just get into it. We're going to do a very, very short recap real quick, and then we're going to get right into it. Basically, what happened last time is that after being absconded away some weird and in some strange fashion and being found as a flesh sack hanging from in the study with the conch right next to you, stuff happened. Some explosions happened. People tried to save you. Got attacked by an invisible creature made of hands that then damaged you thoroughly with all the damage that you gave it with a lot of chunky hit points. And Meckel woke up, absconded with some of the doctor's medicine, came back and watched the tail end of the fight, but didn't want to get involved. And then you tried to Zemdak collect pieces of conch.
Well, but he did kill it.
He
But you
did join.
did kill it.
He got
You
the
threw a
actual
torch.
glory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got that killing blow, so you get a level up.
Yay.
Congrats.
Yay.
He was like that person at the marathon who jumps out at the last second and makes it through the first.
And that brings you
first
to
place.
level 3, correct?
Sort of, but yes.
Sort of, but yes. Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll take care of it. My microphone's not cooperating. Okay, cool. Great. So that's where we are. I believe where we left off specifically is that Argus and Meckel are outside of the room. The rest of you, the glass terrazine thing that had the sunset coming through it had broken and shattered and fallen. You'd collect a couple pieces. You collected a vast majority of the pieces of conch, so you have a good amount of him. Nobody really wanted to explore up into the skylights too much. We were like, no, we got to get the heck out of here. And you guys are on your way out of the room, but at the moment, only Meckel and Argus are in the hallway outside of the room. And Meckel said to Argus, don't worry, guys. Well, you went back in, I think, for a little bit and said, hey, here's the book, here's stuff. Oh, don't worry, guys, the doctor is coming. He says he's on his way. And you went back out, and you're now out there with him. You still just did all that weird head stuff between you and Cole.
Was Cole in the... You were right in
As
the
far
doorway,
as like
aren't
where
you?
you
Yeah,
were,
I was.
I think
I
he
was
was.
in the doorway.
I think the mind stuff
in the
happened between the like.
I
you
think
were
it's
still,
the threshold.
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
thing.
yeah, across the threshold, because you didn't really need to be next to each other, and I think you probably had some conversations across the threshold too. I think what happened is that most of the party can see you, but only you can see Argus. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
Like, so it's like he's just down the hallway a little bit more.
Use that
Um,
on his own computer.
he's on his computer.
Argus, I don't think you should be leaving the group.
On that note, we're gonna get into it. Meckel, you just got hit with a ton of psychic stuff. How are you feeling?
Well, added to the 2 points of exhaustion I already have from dying and coming back and whatnot.
Sorry about that,
I'm
man.
feeling pretty crappy. Physically, I feel better now that I've shared some stuff with Cole.
Cold is not necessarily. But by the way, sorry again for killing you.
Yeah,
You know?
that's all right.
I mean,
But-
you were trying
but-
to kill us at the time, but
Yeah.
or just before the time. But
Are you saying this via your psychic link?
no, I'm
No,
just,
no.
Okay.
He's just.
I'm just being.
But
okay.
I am outside of all of that. I am feel my adrenaline and sort of perk up a little bit now that I know that the doctor is on his way.
So your adrenal gland is pumping pretty hardcore right now. Not to the least to say to the effect of trying to make sure that you don't suffer like an immediate PTSD from all of the amount of screams, agony, and all of the
I
just
gave all of that.
overstimulation.
I gave all that to Cole.
Yeah, you tried. Yeah, you did you gave a good amount of that to Cole, and then when the line was cut, some of it kind of like whiplashed and banded back on you. So you're just, I would say there's probably a portion of you that's dissociating a little bit to try to, correct me if I'm wrong, but to try to protect yourself from that. I think the adrenaline is also kind of pumping and creating a very strange brain chemistry thing with you right now. And I don't think it's kind of like something spinning up and ramping up. And you're not really sure how to stop it. And you just kind of feel more and more excited to the point where you start to feel a great pain, like upon the crown of your head. And that starts to end in your temples, kind of like hypertension. But it's getting bad. It's getting very, very bad. The point where like your body is saying you can't ignore me forever.
Okay.
And in fact, you can ignore me for maybe 2 more seconds.
All right. So I will turn towards the cleric behind me, but like repeating to myself in my head that the doctor is coming, trying to talk my body out of this sort of like...
You're like mantraing it?
Yeah, mantra.
You got
but it doesn't seem to be doing a lot of good, and I'll collapse and just kind of like have my head in my hands and just start trying to, get as small as I can inside the threshold.
Argus, you see him do this. I think the other people that are like really paying attention, Zemdek, I'm not sure if you're fully paying attention. I think Trisheni's working with you a little bit, and he's also deaf, so it doesn't really matter. I think probably Cole and Log probably.
Because I was trying to help him up.
Yeah.
Last time.
So I think Cole and Log probably
But you're
see
deaf
him
too.
kind of
No,
crumble
you-
to the
you
floor
healed me.
Oh, I had
again.
deafness, okay.
And as he's doing so, you know that distortion in the air that you get from like heat coming off of asphalt or from a fire? That
we're
type of
having a
light
mirage
bending
kind of
distortion?
thing?
Yeah, that kind of a mirage or light bending distortion. You see that kind of coming and radiating off of him. Except rather than in like waves of the heat that kind of travels directly upward, it's ripples out from him in all directions. Looks like it's centered in his brain and perhaps like, spinal cord area. Like maybe neck, head, that whole deal. And it just starts to bend light, like dark star, black hole bend light feel. Around him in the way where things start to blink out a little bit, like shadows that should be there are there. Like
I
space
still
starts
have
to
my
bend.
flame up because I was his torch.
Yeah, you see like the parts of the sparkles of flame, like some of the sparks that spit out from like a fire and everything, start to like kind of curve and bend in an unnatural way as they start to get closer to him, and like the tips of the motes of the flame start to bend toward Meckel for a moment. There is something spinning up and building. Argus, he's facing you at the moment as he crumples. You can't contain this anymore. It's your decision about whether you do this inwardly or you expel this outwardly. You have a feeling. I'll let you know. Actually, do me a favor, roll an insight check for me. And you get an advantage because of who you are.
Well, the dice both gave me 3s.
Okay.
So,
The dice giveth and the dice taketh
yeah,
away.
it really
hard.
Two
does.
threes. I think what's happening to you right now is self-preservation. I don't think you have. I think what's going to take control here is your instincts more than what.
I'm
than thinking about
letting
anybody
it,
else. Yeah,
letting it go because
yeah,
I don't have a choice.
yeah. So you expel it rather than let it go inward. There is this wave that you just kind of see. That just kind of around the area. You guys feel it like a little bit. It's almost like that kind of feeling people talk about if you like walk through a ghost, and you kind of feel that chill, and you kind of get that up your spine, and that just sitting into a warm bath where like your body temperature starts to change, and some things feel numb for a moment. It's kind of like that, and you get that just momentary sensation of pins and needles as it passes through. It doesn't hurt. It does feel like there's a little resistance, like you could lean into it and you wouldn't fall over a little bit. But it doesn't feel like you guys got the brunt of it, but you're not sure. Argus, unfortunately, as he's facing you, this blast hits hard. What do? You feel like as light and flame and heat start to bend to his will for like a moment, or maybe his involuntary will, you're not sure. You sense your instinct of like, I'm in danger. Like you're in severe danger. Like,
All right.
what do you do?
I'm going to Misty Step back behind our group.
Oh, can you
Nice.
see into the room? I don't think you could see into the
Does
room.
it matter?
Yeah, wait.
That's
Yeah,
what
yeah.
we can see.
Oh, right, because you have.
Oh, Yes.
that apostate ability, right? So this actually makes a lot of sense. Okay, cool, yeah. So you think of your friends and your companions and your your family that you have seen no more than a moment ago, and you
Actually,
try
I
to
want to go in front of them.
like between. I understand. Like so on the other side of the threshold in the room between Meckel and yeah. Okay, cool. You got it. You focus your. Do me a favor. Roll a Constitution saving throw for me while you do that.
Let us know when you get that one, Kenton.
It's a 4. So
You're proficient in
They
that,
tell
so I
the best
figured you would
story.
suck. You know.
so 7.
7. So you call upon your very new ability that you're not as like good with at the moment to teleport you through other dimensions spatially, that whole thing, and put you to a place that you can't see, and you disappear. Meckel, you see kind of like some of the paintings that were covered in sheets that were on this in this hallway, kind of some go askew, some fall off a little bit, but are hanging by one of the corners as that wave hits, and you only see that through squinted and blurry eyes of your eyelashes and the pain. But it does relieve you, and you see there's like this very like flash paper, and Argus just disappears.
All right, so I've killed Argus.
Wow, but your headaches are
Great.
intense.
Yeah. My reaction to that, given everything that's happening, or has happened in the last 15 minutes of Meckel's life, even though I feel a little bit better as far as the pressure goes or whatever, given the getting all the feedback from the doctor and whatnot, I think at this point my frustration levels have probably peaked.
If that's what you think, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just too much emotional stimulation, so to speak. And instead of shutting down, I'm going to ramp up to try to grant myself some distance as self-preservation,
Sure, yeah.
and probably tantrum.
Okay. Do you want to roll for it, or do you want to? And do you have an idea as to what level you might be, or do you want to?
At this level,
do you want to
giving,
roll through whether it's possible, or are you trying to?
I'm trying to sort of like shove all of this negative stuff out, which I think would cause him to internally, So I'm thinking.
Is that something that you would? Are you trying to resist a tantrum or not?
No, not at this point. I'm just trying to shove. I've just killed Argus.
Are we thinking first tier or second tier?
Second tier, given everything that's been happening.
Okay, cool. I would do, if you'd like to, you can leave it up to a coin flip, or
Let's leave it up to a coin flip
Okay,
to see
go ahead. You
how
want a
bad
coin?
this is. Yeah.
where is my coin?
There's a bunch.
We got a coin here,
Okay, good.
but
Perfect. Use that one.
Success or failure and success.
Okay.
It's a little bit more complicated than that, but yeah,
Yeah.
you know what to do. You
So
decide what
it's
is
low
what.
or high?
You
It's-
use.
okay. So spider.
Solid ones.
Okay, that'll work.
It's it's a kraken because it's kraken.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Ah,
So
okay.
it's
So-
supposed to be critical failure, critical success.
Okay.
Yeah,
Like
the-
a one or
the-
two.
So
The Kraken
so
is the-
one will be the more powerful one then.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's a 1.
Okay.
So that's 4.
That's 4.
Yep.
So, and just to make sure I'm doing this right, because I believe I do remember this.
We're in
I think
danger.
you have. I think
You're
you have
in
the mini for this
danger.
one
We're
too.
in
Yeah.
danger.
Yeah.
As
So,
always.
Yeah, but we weren't almost dead last time he tried to
I'm
kill
trying
us.
to remember where my. notes
Well,
was.
I
was
also
fast.
put baby in the corner, and I'm not there.
It's a good day. It's a good day.
So you
I don't think
see.
you put baby in the corner.
Do you want to
anyway
explain
right
this,
now.
or should I?
Since you did all the artistic mini, I'll let you explain exactly what.
I did make a custom mini for
You
this, and it's
did.
really cool. But I won't pull it out unless it ends up in like a combat scenario.
Don't see how it can. But go ahead.
Yeah. So you see Meckel's flesh as he like kind of like screams and goes back, start to melt off of his bone. It's like you start to see the musculature and just melt, and then you see like as the melting starts to get to his jawline, the bone itself starts to melt as well. And then the gray matter of the brain starts to melt down as it kind of just like ripple after ripple after ripple after ripple. The only thing that remains there is the spinal cord just kind of like floating there with lungs strangely attached to this just floating spinal cord. The rib cages cracks open a little bit to become these like claws that just encase the lungs and the spinal cord, way larger than it should have been when he is there. All of the melted flesh and muscle fall into this amoebic fleshy puddle beneath that kind of holds the spinal cord up, with these two lungs just inflating way too large and deflating as it breathes from what you don't know. All the spinal cord and the actual esophagus is still within the spine area, and you can see the veins and the cardiovascular and the respiratory system, but only that is confined to the lungs and the spine and the rib cage that is there, that has been cracked open. This amoebic now like ooze like just melted microwaved flesh, and now just creates this churning and bubbling amoebic mass that is now on the ground. As like it's like, oh shit, Mekel's dead. Like that's what the fuck is this? What's happening? He just melted. He's dead. It's probably the first thing that comes to mind. There is parts of his clothing still within the mass of this amoebic grossness. There's like a boot. Some of the amoebic mass actually like moves up and comes up like a pseudopod, and there's a boot just attached to the edge of one of these pseudopods. There's another boot that's just sitting in the like oozy mess, and his flute is just stuck out of one spot, just kind of facing at a 45-degree angle outward, and it's nasty. It is super, super nasty, and you hear this. Actually, Log, I think you're the first one to hear this because of your your relation to something that has such heightened hearing. Is you kind of hear like a dog whistle sound, like something that's too high of a pitch or too high of a frequency for everyone else to really be picking up. But it's like super, super high. But it's starting to get like slide its way into the like audible range, and it hurts. It hurts a lot. It is not good. And
I'm
it's
just
also,
recovering from being deaf.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like, oh, I'm just being deaf again. Like, it's not great. I think that, Cole, you probably noticed that it looks like the vocal cords are still attached to with your high passive perception. The vocal cords are still attached to the lungs, and it looks like they're being active. Like, they are vibrating, however small they are, meaning like something's coming out, but you can't hear it. But it is gradually approaching this some sort of like, it's a lot. As that happens, I need everybody to roll wisdom saves.
Kenton,
I'm
I
assuming
expect you to
I'm
fail.
not
this.
included.
It's
No,
good
yeah,
at-
fine, yeah.
Do I have to if I can't hear
You're
it?
a lung and a spine. You don't have ears.
Do I have to if I can't hear it?
It's about time.
No, you do not.
Also, we are in the other room still, like pretty far. We would be the I
Oh,
think
yeah.
last
this
swing
is-
at the tail.
threshold.
This is so piercing.
Okay.
The walls
That's-
would give you no
Sure.
Hey,
respite from this.
Okay.
hey guys.
Yeah.
Something fucked up's happening to Mekel again.
Also, Mekel's like right outside the threshold of the door.
He's fucking melted.
Is he? Yeah, I'm hearing something.
You ready, TJ?
It's also line of sight, DJ.
It is line of sight, isn't it?
Yeah, that part. Of
So,
Oh, right.
So
and
we're
that,
fucked,
the two,
bud.
it's both of them, isn't it? Yeah.
not.
Okay,
I'm
so
imagining we're
we're
still
going to do this
floating
first. Well, you're in eyesight, yada, 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 yada.
We'll see how much damage it
Yes.
does.
Okay. Right. So it's
Depends on what
it's
happens,
right.
yeah.
I'm sorry. So whoever can see first, the wisdom save is for. I'm sorry. The wisdom save is whoever can see them. I think everybody can see them. They're
No,
in the
'cause-
threshold of the door.
No, because I think Zemdek and I are
The way
coming
we
down and flying
what we had
down.
talked about is
Okay.
me and Log were Cole
I
and
would say
Log were
then
the
just you
only
two.
two who
Yeah.
could see them.
Yeah.
and
Argus-
the cleric who I
Well,
killed.
it's also dark there, isn't there? Because I'm gone and there's no light.
There's still the glow from the skylight.
And I had cast light before we came in. That's not a concentration spell.
Yeah. Yeah. There's I mean, when that blast happened, some of the fire damage it took. You know,
Yeah.
there's like little tiny tail.
And
It's
there's a
dim
torch.
lighting in here. I believe I established before that it is dim lighting in this
Yeah,
area.
because of the
So
moonlight,
you
okay.
two need to roll wisdom saving throws for me because you can see this thing. What'd you get?
Not 24, 23.
Hell yeah.
Ooh, nice job. So you are immune to this. You see this absolutely insane thing that just melted, and you're like, sounds like a Tuesday. I see this shit all the time.
The shit I've seen.
16.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sounds like Gondar.
16.
16? Do you have the DC or I have the DC?
You have the DC.
I have the DC. I don't think that's a success. If I'm going off of what this is, yeah, I don't think that's a success. So you...
And Argus, I think, does have to make it too, since he's in between.
No, he teleported and he
he
hasn't reappeared
teleported
yet.
to try to be in between
Oh, he
there.
hasn't reappeared yet.
He's
Oh,
not there.
He's
not there.
I thought he
gone.
missed these steps. So.
He did Misty Step, but he's not there.
All right, fair enough.
It's not the first time one of our people has disappeared during a misty step.
Well, I killed him first,
Yeah.
so point for me.
So Cole, you're stunned. You're in a stunned. You're just kind of like, in that whole like dissociated, be like, how could this thing ever possibly exist?
Actually,
And I've
there's
seen
a
some fucked up
well,
shit.
no. There's a thing that Cole's like freaking out, but then there's the part of Cole that goes, "At least I'm not moving around this time, and I can actually see what the fuck happens."
Yeah. I think the fact that
Because the last time Cole was stunned was the fight in the tomb during the trial.
Yeah, yeah,
last
yeah, with
trial,
the-
so he
with the
kept missing
cephalomorphs.
everything.
Right. I think your brain is just too focused on that conciliatory effect that you're can't do anything else, and there's like this kind of like eldritch madness thing going on with you, and you're just like, it's hard to reconcile what is happening right now. And
Does
so
that
you are
play with anything in my brain?
I think I would say that you are still self-aware.
Okay.
But I don't think you have control over anything outwardly. Does that make sense? Like, I think you're like trapped in your mind right now. Does that
Yeah,
make
so
sense?
I can't even reach out.
It's
or
like you're in
anything.
a logic conflict if you're a robot, that type of thing. You're still here, you're conscious, but all of your faculty is being taken up by trying to make sense of what you're seeing here.
It's that conundrum of like the 3 laws of robotics. You
Yeah,
need to get
it's-
closer to save something, but
you're
you
getting
have to
a
preserve
paradox.
your own life. And yeah.
And you're in a paradox loop right now.
Yeah.
So that is what's happening with you. You're just stunned. Yeah. I will let
if
you
you
know.
give
I
me my
believe you
thing
can.
back, it might help.
You can make the save again. You can make the save again continuously. And I'll let you know when you can because we're technically like out of not right now.
Oh, okay.
But like we're technically
Well,
out
I'm
of
switching
combat, so
dice.
I'll like let you know when there's a moment where that's something that you could possibly do. But this is not dissimilar from the stuff that you talked about before, or if you still can see it, you're still afraid. Does that make sense? Cool. Because if you know it's there but you can't see it, you can try to shake yourself out of it. But if you can still see it, there's no point to give yourself a respite to try to have that type of thought. Does that make sense? Cool. Okay. So you're stunned. Is anybody concentrating on anything right now?
I am
You're concentrating? Okay.
on
I
flying.
need you to make a concentration check at disadvantage.
Okay. Even though I
Straight
can't
up.
see him.
It doesn't matter. This is part of the sound.
Okay.
This is called cognitive dissonance.
Sure. What's the? Let's see. we've got-
It is a 17. Cole, you just missed it.
I thought that was for the wisdom save, not the concentration.
It's just his DC.
Oh, just the
yeah,
okay.
yeah. It's his DC that I gave him for this form.
Okay. Wisdom.
Concentration.
Concentration?
It's a con save.
I'm going to, because I am like dissonant and there's this dissonance in my head and I know that I will fail and I will fall and I will hurt myself and Zemdak as I'm trying to drag him down. I'm going to try to like, as the veils shatter, I'll find the other veils and I'll use my well wall points to reroll.
Ah, okay, yeah.
It's the first time I've been able to do this.
So your
That
world
sounds
inspiration
new.
points or the
Multiverse adept.
yes. Okay,
It's
yeah.
been a very long time since, tried to do this, but auto succeed.
Oh, you are right. Yes, you get to auto succeed because you call upon other parallel universal forms of yourself to maintain concentration.
Did
Yeah.
you just
Work
murder
together.
a version of you in another
Most
parallel
likely, yeah.
dimension? Just,
Probably.
She probably
Probably.
superseded herself upon another one, so you just stopped the timeline from happening.
Yeah.
Wow, fuck. Okay, what are you concentrating on?
Fly.
She's bringing us back down.
Yeah, that would
to the-
suck to have that going
Yeah.
off right now.
Yeah, especially because I'm very low on health at the moment.
Especially as also
And
because
you
the
carry
person
heavy shit.
The person
Or
who
at
has
least you are.
Featherfall is stunned too.
Yeah.
You have that big chunk. Well, you put it in your bag, I guess. Yeah, fuck you. All right.
Because
Okay.
is levitate concentration?
Nothing's levitating for me.
He's
I
just
thought
under
you
the
were-
cast a
were at
spell
one
on both
point.
of you guys.
No, because
you
you
were-
were.
No, you casted levitate on yourself to get pieces from the
Yeah.
of
And then I
conch
went
from
up
the
there
walls.
and I grabbed you.
And then she flew to grab you.
Then he casted levitate on that large.
Oh, that's what it
chunk
was,
down.
Yeah, you casted levitate on this large chunk. That's how you were able to make sure it didn't fall and shatter.
Right.
But it did fall, but it just didn't like.
So, would I
Is
still,
levitate concentrate?
would I still be levitating it, or do I have?
Well, yeah, if it's
It
no
was
longer
just on that one piece.
And I can't hear, so I don't have to make the save.
I'm also grabbing you.
That's a
too.
good point.
Yeah, no,
That's
no,
correct.
he's
it's
deaf right now.
it is a sound-based effect. You do not have to make the save.
Yeah.
And also, it wouldn't matter because it's already done. I mean, you could still be concentrating on the spell across dimensions. You can, but there's no need to. So it doesn't matter. Okay, great. That's done. Here's the other thing that happens. You see that this amoebic kind of fleshy puddle that has formed is rather large. It's like technically like a 10-foot by 10-foot thing. And it is creeping around corners. And you see, both you and Cole, recognize this thing starts to grow. The amoeba itself, the mass itself doesn't get any bigger, but it starts to like seed creep. And it creates creep for 30-foot radius around itself. And you've seen the creep before, guys. You know what it looks like in your dream space and all that thing, that musculature and tendon and just...
Well, no, and that's where I was kind of trying to get at. Does this trigger anything in my mind, kind of thing? Is what I was
You
talking
recognize it immediately.
Yeah.
It looks like, I would say it doesn't look...
It's the horror
the
of seeing.
same.
It's the horror of seeing Log's dream space in the real world because I know what Log's dream
Yeah.
space is like.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. I would say that it doesn't look like it's exactly the same, but it looks like it's made of the same constituent materials. Does that make sense? Whereas yours kind of have eyes in it every once in a while. Yours is sometimes a grassy meadow and sometimes other weird stuff. And this is a little bit more, I don't want to say organized, I want to say...
I think going through Cole's head right now, he's going, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake
Yeah.
up, wake up.
And you do this as the creep reaches you and starts to like grab onto your ankles.
And I see that he's not moving, he's not responding.
Yeah, and it does. By the way, all this happens like
slack-jawed looking.
very like all this happens extremely fast. Granted, like because it's but you can do something about it. Like it does grab onto you. It doesn't seem to be like grabbing like hard. It just is growing as if a vine was growing. That's not those type of like really really hard lines you could snap. It's like new growth. So it doesn't appear to be like pulling you or hurting you, but it is definitely creating difficult terrain in a 30-foot radius around whatever Meckel is.
Well, so I'm going to try and like grab him by his collar,
Sure.
and like step back, get back into the room away from because he's in
Yeah,
the hallway.
yeah. The only way to get away from this without going further into it is to go further into the room, really, to pretty much get to the wall on the opposite side of the room.
So I'm just going to grab him by the back of the collar. And
You could do that.
Pull,
Yeah.
and get out. I can only move 15 feet because I'm so exausted.
Yeah, some of the tendons and roots that were trying to grab onto his boots and ankles just snap off as you pull them out, and you're the same as you squishy go out around the creep before you finally hit wood and you against the wall as you kind of like just pin him and yourself against the wall as it reaches almost to the edge of the wall. And Trisheni and Zemdak, you don't hear what's happening, but you see this, and you're flying above it. You're like, what the fuck? I don't think you guys can see where it's coming from. You can see the creep now,
Yeah.
but you don't know where it's coming from outside the door. That's what happens. Argus, you reappear. What is around you where you reappear? Or do you want me to tell you?
You tell me.
Okay.
I didn't know it was my choice.
Yeah. Well, okay. You reappear in I don't want to say hauntingly, but I want to say unnervingly familiar place where there are many things that are warm, familiar, and still hot. Many of the things that you have burned and incinerated before, you find yourself here. But it is out of phase, like it's somewhat staticky, has somewhat of a blue tinge to it a little bit, almost as if you were in nothing but an inferno with like a slight blue Hollywood filter to it as well. It feels like some of the Yominger flames are actually ethereal. But then that begins to, I don't want to say quickly either. There's a lot of things I don't want to say. I would say gradual enough where you don't notice that it's happening that gradually, but quick enough to notice that a moment ago it was not like this. So it's a very, very pure dissolve as you see all these things, this half of your own house, these some of the tables and chairs and a bunch of other things, like part of a well that has been burned and charred, quickly fade out before you start to see kind of where you were before in this hallway. But it appears to be almost like translucent, ethereal, like vague, out of phase. Everything has a kind of a bluish, translucent tinge to it that feels like smoke, almost as everything is made out of smoke. You stand there, though, but you're not the same color as everything else. You are a more yellowish, maybe amber, with still some of more blue thing to you, but you don't feel like you're actually touching the ground either. You see this monstrosity that Meckel has become, or whatever, before you, and you see the hallways, the walls of the hallways, and you see the threshold of the door, and you see the aftermath of what has happened, but you feel like tingly and like not really there and weightless. Sure.
I'm wondering if he sees Meckel's ethereal form.
I think he sees what would be Meckel if he occupied the same his like bipedal humanoid form, if he occupied the same space as whatever abomination that is that you've become. I think like your mental representation of what yourself was. I will say, go ahead because of that, Argus. Go ahead and roll an insight check for me. I know what it's going to be. It's going to be like a 2 or some shit. But.
No, it's
4.
this way. It's,
Yeah.
Forgot Eleazar.
it's a lot higher than that. I have plus 8.
Oh.
He rolled a 24 on his wisdom.
He's okay.
24.
24. You put 2 and 2 together. You realize like, oh, Meckel's there. Like you just do that. Like you don't know where you are. You don't know what the fuck is going on. But your instincts, that kind of whole thing about like you're just kind of split-second decision making that just kind of gives you a judgment call, where it's just like, oh, that's still Meckel. Oh, Meckel's still alive. Meckel's mind is still intact. But I can't communicate with him.
So, okay.
And if you were within 15 feet of Eleazar, you had a +2 to your save.
10 feet.
Is it 10 feet or 15?
It's 10 feet.
I don't know where.
I don't think
anybody
you
was.
were at that moment.
He would have
Yeah,
been.
that's why I was saying I don't think.
He would have been right at the doorway, like with those guys.
Yeah.
He probably would have been there.
TJ,
What's up?
do I sense that?
That's fine.
Do I sense
I don't
him?
think you do. I think you are. I think you could have the capacity
changes
to,
what happened
but
when
remember what
somebody started
happens to your
calling, "I wasn't
mind
there."
in this area. It gets locked into a little
No, 'cause with that
thing.
plus
So
two,
I
I'm
don't.
Right, but there's never been another
18.
thing.
But all I did was just
That's
pull
true.
away.
I think
I don't know.
that
I wouldn't be
you. I don't think your
Well,
mind
I know,
actually
but that's-
exists in
that's
this
all that
realm.
happens. I just
I
pulled
think
you away.
the representation
I'm
of your
saying is
mind
that-
can be recognized. Communicating,
saying is
I would say there's a capacity to that.
stuff that you've done
I don't
for
think you're
the past
consciously aware of that capacity. Does that make sense?
Right, I just know that
Yeah.
what's going on.
I think that Argus insights that he at the present moment cannot make like easy contact with you. You can make an attempt. You can absolutely make an attempt, and we can see what happens. Correct. Eleazar thing. I want to say just for that moment that probably Eleazar was just not in that space, but probably when that happens, does run over to you and helps you pull him out, like away.
That
There's
makes
probably
sense.
because it's
Yeah.
probably like under Zemdak being like, okay, are you gonna fall? What's happening?
No, but
Because he's your buddy, you know.
Well,
so-
I mean, his job is to like carry Zemdak when Zemdak's
yeah,
not
it's
able
literally
to do
what he
anything.
does. Because Zemdak tried to carry his shield and it didn't work. Great. So,
If there's the only thing I would be doing consciously, so to speak, is if I do sense another presence on that area.
Sure.
Otherwise, I react for the
why
tantrum
don't you
in this
do
one.
me a favor? Why don't you go ahead and roll an insight check, and then we'll see what happens. I will say this is at disadvantage because of where you are right now, and what state your mind is in.
I mean, he's got exhaustion.
It's not like it's supremely difficult.
Yeah, but that's just disability. Or
It doesn't. You can't get double
Didn't
disadvantage
say.
anyway.
It's,
Yeah, so it
I
doesn't
only
matter.
got an 11.
11.
So.
I would say there's. You are not, as we've talked about before. You know what happens when you're like this. You're just you don't have like a
Nothing.
fully conscious
Okay.
mind. I would say that, like, because this gets you don't remember any of this ever. Well, but you have like recently started to get flashes. I would say that I think you're in a dream state a little bit, where you're getting just like every once in a while, just kind of what's going on. I think you probably do see like a flash of Argus in an ethereal state. What that means to you?
Well, what I would do is, in that state or whatever, I wouldn't be able to consciously do this, but my awareness would turn towards his awareness.
Okay.
And in this form or whatever, my mental picture of myself
Sure.
that Argus would probably see is more akin to a probably 5 or 6 years younger
Yeah.
than my physical form. So probably
Like
you know
your inner child. kind of
inner
feeling.
child. So like completely sort of like if he sees my mental representation of me. I'm just in the simple tunic or whatever, but I'd be looking at him basically
Face to face.
Yeah.
but as a complete, like, there's nothing non-threatening or something.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, that's a
Hopeless
person.
sort of thing.
You're here, you know. I just recognize that you're here. I'm looking at you.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, there is a much younger version of Mekl that just kind of like turns and looks at you, maybe cocks their head a little bit, just kind of stands there. And the more like smoky version of it, everything's just and roiling and behind it. But there's this just you know, not like super young, but just younger individual that's standing there,
Yeah.
just kind of staring at you a little bit. Argus.
Has my other form noticed any sound?
That is a very good point. I don't think that the people that are flying are making too much sound because you guys are floating in the air. I do think the thump against the wall and the moving across the room has created some sound, but I believe that that's a different form, if I remember correctly.
No, it's
this one.
It's on this one. Yeah, it's another.
Is it
really is
the
right
the sonic thunder damage if they see if they hear something, right?
If I hear something, yes.
Yeah, I would say yeah. I think that the spinal cord and the lungs probably turn towards inside of the room, and I need because since Eleazar, you and are all in the same spot, and we're all making, and he's in plate armor, making a lot of noise. You guys need to roll con saves for me.
Okay. Anything I need to do special since I'm stunned?
No, this is just your body trying to resist this.
What am I rolling for damage?
Do you roll for it, or do you want me to roll for it?
No, I want to roll
You
for
want to
it.
roll? Sure.
I mean, I want to help him as much as I can.
I'll
to speak.
I'll come over and tell you because I don't want them to know
Okay.
what it is.
+2.
Right, because you were.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
That just makes it even better.
You're stunned, but.
What'd you get?
So with Eleazar's +2,
Yeah, 'cause now he's next to you.
I rolled a 25 with my nat 20.
All right, that is a save. So you're gonna take half of this. Go ahead.
So with the +2, I got an 11.
11. That's not a success.
18.
18. That's a success. Good.
Okay, so it would be 17 points of sonic damage as the
So halved for log to
8.
8.
No, I failed.
Oh,
Oh, I'm
Log
sorry.
to
The other way
Cole.
around. The other way
Yes,
around. Yeah,
yep.
sorry.
So I'm
And-
unconscious.
And
So
you
am
put
I.
it
Log and
Okay.
Cole. You see them grab their heads for a moment. Their ears bleed. Their eyes, some blood vessels in their eyes pop, and they fall. to the
No,
ground.
I don't grab my head. I just sit there and
Oh, that's
take
it.
it all.
You know. Eleazar, is he's
Oh, he's
still
fine.
up? He's
Yep.
still up. He's fine.
No, he's
sure.
not fine, but
Yeah.
he's
He's better than we
okay.
are.
You also
The-
have
now,
Can I see
to
this?
you, Trisheni, you can hear this piercing, absolute horrible thing, and there's like this sonic boom right where they were.
Sucks.
That just kind of
a
it's
great roll
like a
and it meant
localized sonic weapon that's just right in that spot where
Right.
they were.
Can I see?
you have a notation for the failure. Does that apply also?
Yes, it does. Who failed?
Well, no, he failed.
Log, you get another point of exhaustion.
Can I see the
I'm saying like this is like we're now getting into territory where we have to keep 3 points of choice of exhaustion because if you get to 6,
You die.
you die.
Can I see the mass of creep at this point?
Not from where you are. Would you like to move?
I mean,
You can see. Yeah, I'm sorry. The creep.
and
yes.
what happened?
The origin
with,
of it? No. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you do see Cole and Log just drop
Yeah.
as they like pulled themselves out of this creep that was kind of latching onto them, and Eleazar is just like preventing them from like you guys flop over, and Eleazar prevents you guys from like falling into the creep.
Can Eleazar do something?
Yeah, absolutely.
Quiet. He's going to cast command.
At
this
what?
thing.
At this thing?
Yeah.
Go ahead. What DC do you need to beat?
Wisdom save.
I think your saving throws remain the same
Yeah.
here.
Okay. Wisdom save. I got a 20.
Succeeds.
You know, that's like the first wisdom save I've succeeded at.
Oh,
No, it's the
man.
second
I'm
one.
sorry.
Because I tried to do that before
Oh,
Yeah.
to get
okay.
you to shut up, and you succeeded on that.
Elias just like quiet, and it just doesn't listen.
Is there?
Technically, you're deaf, actually. So I'm not sure. Well, this is Matt. I'll allow it because it's fun. Go ahead.
Is there another point in the room, like as far away as possible?
Yeah, if you go up into the corner, the far corner, yeah.
That's a surface. I'm gonna try to vortex warp this thing that's surrounding.
Oh, that's a surface. Remember that tier that was kind of lopsided?
Yeah.
That was up there.
Yeah.
You could put it up there. That would be closer to the skylight and closer to them, and closer to you, but it would be out of the doorway.
I would be moving. First, I would move, and then transport it up there.
Yeah, you can do so.
And
dragging
dragging Zemdak with
those
me.
of you who succeeded on your wisdom save, who saw it, are immune to it for 1 hour. Okay,
So since I saw it, but that doesn't matter with the sound.
that's a different ability. Yeah, different thing. What that would mean is that you need to see it first,
which
would trigger the wisdom save.
I rolled because you didn't specify before. Can I
Yes.
use that number?
Yeah, of course.
21.
Okay, you're fine. So
Okay.
you're immune to it for an hour.
Cool.
You can move within sight, hit it. That's a con save for you, and then you can throw it on that second tier. That's kind of like
Yeah, basically as far away as possible.
from the doorway. Yeah.
Yeah, so we have a point of egress.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's kind of like not
one?
too far from where Zemdak was hanging from the ceiling.
Your DC is.
Oh, I got a 2.
Oh, okay.
You're good. So this thing, does it specify
on.
whether the size of the creature?
No.
Okay. So
I don't
yeah, you
think
just
so.
take this big mass. You see
Another
the
creature.
as
Another
this thing
creature.
disappears, the creep that's on the floor begins to wither and die quite
Fuck me.
quickly.
Uh-oh. I don't know what
Did
that
you
is,
proc?
but
Oh, Jesus Christ.
did she what?
Two
proc.
members have disappeared. You see her cast
If
this
she's
spell.
holding me, do I go with her?
That's a good question.
Roll a con save.
Jesus. Because then it's just us unconscious.
Good news. We're dead.
Eleazar.
right.
No. Who used all of his lay on hands
Yeah.
to resurrect Trisheni.
Yeah.
8.
8. Zemdak. You see Trisheni like cast this thing, and you see this thing disappear, and then you feel it inside of yourself because you have a sixth sense when it comes to it. You're like, oh fuck! And both of you and Zemdak just disappear in this like small little kind of like whirlpool of well wall as they both just disappear.
Eleazar sees it disappear. He's going to grab those two and just take.
All right, okay, wait. The Eleazar did a bunch of stuff. Okay, he did command. So just give me his.
Yeah.
Oh, he has his movement.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second. Let me just talk about this. And
Yeah, I
then
wanna
we
know
can
what
do his
happens
thing.
to
At that
me.
point, we
Yeah, because
at
let
that
me
point,
resolve
we need
the
to start
spell
making
first.
death saving throws.
Right.
Yeah, let me resolve the spell first.
No,
So
just-
you do reappear up on the top in that slanted area in the corner.
gonna just
The
write an
creep of
easy
where
note
you
here.
were before
Yeah.
kind of dies, but the creep of that would be kind of like a Venn diagram overlap does stay alive as it kind of reconnects to you. But there's no more creep in the doorway now. Argus, you see there's a moment that I
my
think
note
your
for it.
younger self is like has a moment of like has an idea of what's about to happen. It's like and just like gets scared for a moment as they're kind of like tugged out of the air and the smoky appearance, the smoky exterior appearance of the creature and his younger self disappear out of nowhere as they're getting like sucked into space. And That's what you see. That's what happens. You guys are left alone with Eleazar. You're gone. I'm going to explain where you guys are in a second.
Okay.
Eleazar can now take his turn.
Just grabs those two, starts pulling them down the hallway.
Yeah, you will have to pass through the difficult terrain of the creep in order to get there.
No, the creep's moved.
The creep
It
is
was-
30
it's
feet
withering.
radius.
No, he said the creep is
Withering.
withering.
It's no
Oh,
longer in the
okay.
doorway, but the room is still very small.
Sorry.
So
Okay.
it's a
All right.
30-foot radius, so it's still big. There is a portion of Leliar's movement where he still will have to pass through difficult
Okay.
terrain, and he's also carrying 2 large people, so he's moving at quarter speed. So he'll make. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. I'll say that he's going to make it to the edge of the creep, but he's still going to be in like the middle of the room at the end of his movement.
So
he already
just-
used his action to command, so he can't dash.
Just tell me when I have to make my death saving throw.
I mean,
Yeah, we're gonna get to that in a moment. Yeah.
that would be the next turn when they're.
Yeah. I mean, that's fine because we're not in combat.
Right.
I say that's fine. That happens. Like
I was
Eleazar.
just gonna
Yeah.
couple of points of heal lay on hands, couple of points of lay on hands.
Does he have it? I think he
I
used
thought
it
you
all.
used it all for-
I have 10 points left.
Okay.
I used 10.
You have
10,
to use an
and 10.
action to
Yeah.
do so.
Yeah.
So I will say next turn, yes,
Right,
you can
that's
do
what
so.
I mean.
Yeah.
Like-
I'll let you know when that happens. I think also Eleazar is a war-tempered individual, so when he sees shit like this happen, he acts very quickly.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think that he probably absolutely was able to get you guys to the edge of the creep, pick you up, and try to get you out of harm's way as soon as possible.
That's all I'm
as-
really trying to do
Yeah,
is, like,
that's
start-
as much as he could possibly do, though.
These guys went unconscious. I know we took damage from that sound,
Yeah.
so I'm trying to get them out of here so I can.
Okay,
Bring them
Eleazar, is Eleazar trying to be quiet? If he's trying to be quiet, he's going to move 5 feet. Okay? Eleazar needs to roll a con save. Oh, wait, did you use your reaction already? No, you didn't. Yeah, Eleazar rolls a con save.
Well, all of them need to make a con save if they're right next to Eleazar.
We were in the doorway.
We're dead, so we just take. We're unconscious. We
You,
take.
no, you
saving
still make
throws.
con saves when you're unconscious. Yeah.
We were in
So
the
it's
doorway.
about your body, not
I
your
now
mind.
have 3 points of exhaustion, so that means I'm now at disadvantage on saves.
Yes, you are.
Yes, you are.
And attack roll.
So,
And-
so
How-
you
and
I'll
that's
do that at the
far- how
beginning of
far-
Eleazar's
You
next
at
How
turn.
least
far
get
is this
Eleazar's
attack?
+2.
You're in range.
That's true.
It is. I
It's
can't.
not much, but
But it is mass. The
'Cause if
radius
I-
is massive.
If I remember that room correctly, the doorway was as far away
So it's
from
a
that.
sonic thing, and
Yes.
and the radius is truly massive.
Okay.
Yeah,
Just
it's
him,
it
he
is
would be going through the doorway.
it is over 100 feet. I'll give you that.
Okay.
TJ designed this to potentially kill us if we fucked up, and we've been fucking up. So
oh, the dice have been fucked.
The dice has been fucking
Well,
up. But here's the deal. I
He
will
would
not.
be going. He would be.
I'm gonna give you. Here's the. I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt. This is what's good. It's going to happen. It'll happen at the end of Eleazar's movement next turn. Okay. So you still get to do something before this happens, but it will happen. The radius of this sound, and you can hear by this absolute ridiculousness, sensitivity of whatever it can hear or whatever, because it can. You can hear it innately. It's weird, because you just feel the vibrations. Is truly horrifying. The range of this thing. It's you ever watch Graboids or Tremors or whatever it is?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of like that. You know, you can hear you from like doesn't matter. You know, tiny little motions.
Although it sounds like Trishani found a way to get out of its radius.
Trishani, yeah,
Yeah, that was my calculation.
yeah. That was the reason for that. So
Would you have noticed that making a sound is what?
yes, that's why he said quiet. But
So-
you can try to be quiet if you want.
Yes. He would then try.
You
to
would
be
not
quiet.
get anywhere near to the edge of the creep. You're going to move like 5 feet.
That's
You're
fine.
moving at 8th speed at
It's
that
fine.
point.
But he's like, if he knows that sound makes this thing attack,
Sure.
he's not going to try and get.
So roll a
attacked
stealth
again.
check at disadvantage because you have plate armor.
Are you? Is this before or after
Not
you
you,
did
just
lay
him.
in
I know. I'm
hands?
waiting for when
Oh,
I
yeah,
can
yeah.
roll. I finally get to
18.
use the
18, that's a success. Eleazar does not get hit, or either of you get hit with the thing. It won't happen until the end of your next turn. So here's the deal. Eleazar is wearing plate, heavy, loud, clanky plate armor, carrying 2, reasonably sized medium humanoid individuals on his shoulders.
He
Wait,
uses
hold
their
on.
body to muffle.
Presses the fur and the
Yes.
desert cloak up against his plates to prevent them from clanking. Absolutely, and is also at every step
it
trying
is-
to pull up the tendons that are like slowly wrapping
It
around
is
his
called
feet.
the Whisper's Cloak.
Yeah, exactly. And trying to. Oh shit! You're next to Log.
Oh shit!
You have to succeed on a con save.
Please succeed.
You have to roll a con save
At a disadvantage.
Because he's got 3 levels of
'Cause I have
exhaustion.
3
because
levels.
Cole's next to you. Yeah.
Please succeed.
Whoa, a lot of stuff just stacked like cascading dominoes.
But still +2.
Still +2.
Still +2. Still +2.
Come on.
If you don't get this, you die.
Con save. This is not gonna. This is not gonna succeed. So it's gonna be a 9 total.
Do you have a DM inspiration?
I do.
I would.
You have a world inspiration you want to use?
I mean, if I don't want to die, right?
Especially because we don't have Argus anywhere near us to bring
so
you back right now.
It's weird because like the whispering cloak moves around with him and like pulls around the side and starts to like suck the life out of Log for a second, and like Eleazar grabs it and try to like use it to muffle. Go ahead.
So, okay, so with the world inspiration, because it was still disadvantaged, I still have to take the.
You do not roll, and disadvantage and advantage do not affect inspiration. It's just a straight d20.
So that's a 19 on the die plus his 2 plus 1.
Yeah, you succeed. So you do not die.
Oh,
You
thank
see like
God.
Eleazar like kind of like force one of like the holy smites into his hand and kind of grab the cloak and pull it down and kind of like force it into himself before it like can get to you to like just muffle the sound as he can like.
I
take
don't
it.
know if Cole would have handled like it well if he had accidentally killed his best friend.
Yeah.
Granted, you have to do this every turn. I will say, why don't you go ahead and roll an insight check at advantage for Eleazar to see if he understands, like, he's seen this happen before, to see if he, like, knows the specifics of what's going on.
17.
Yeah, I'd say
He's got to drop someone.
I drop my ass.
the longer Cole is close to somebody that's dying, like Log, the more chance Log just has of just
Dude,
of
drop my
his
ass.
cloak
Trust
just
me, just drop
sucking the
my
life
ass.
out of it.
Just
and
do it
dying
silently.
straight
No,
out.
just next action.
Heal Log.
Yeah,
go.
sure. Yep.
Lay on hands.
Okay, so before I go any further,
Yes.
we're gonna describe where
That was
you
all like
two-
one thing happened.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff. Guys, we're like moving at
Next
bullet
thing.
time right now.
Yes.
Okay, so we have Trisheni and Zemdak.
Should we roll
Yes.
initiative for this with bullet time going on? Jesus.
No, it's okay because this is a lot of fun. We're doing because we're not technically like in combat because
No,
there's
this is
not-
kind of a skill check right now.
yeah.
almost.
There's a lot of stuff going on.
We're in a very bad environment.
Yes, very very bad environment.
No,
Also,
our
don't worry,
bad luck
the
is finally
doctor's
caught
on
up.
his
Doctor's
way.
on his way.
After meeting that thing hanging out in Doctor's old office, I don't want to meet Doctor.
Yeah. So
Point of order. I still have the book.
Whatever Meckel.
you do
turned
still
into.
have the book. That's proof. That's very true.
So maybe we do just hang out.
You
in
know
limbo
exactly
for-
where you pop back. You pop back in that
I don't know.
kind of like blue,
I don't think so.
barren,
It's just touch.
shadowy, weird, ethereal landscape.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, off to like the right on a hill somewhere, you see the ghost of Argus just kind of floating. Argus, I don't
Hi,
think
Argus.
you see them at all. I don't think you
I
see
don't
them.
see it.
You don't see them, but you see him.
Oddly loud. Hi, Argus.
In response to that, hi Argus, you hear.
I don't hear it.
Oh, yeah, you don't. Trisheni hears it.
I go, shh.
Coming from like echoing from like probably a valley or a chasm that is like beyond the hill somewhere.
Okay.
I don't know why I'm asking questions. I can't hear you.
Use my little copper bracelet because I think it would still. He could hear it then, because it's magic. We're in the bad place. I'm trying to whisper as quietly as I possibly
Sure.
can. We're in the bad place where I went before. Be super quiet. Those marauder type things are on the hunt. I just heard a screech over there. Yeah, we're in deep shit. I really need to check my calculations on that particular spell. I'm sorry.
And he just saw you moving your mouth the entire time.
No, it was
Okay.
message.
Okay, I'm like, I missed that. I'm trying to catch up on my notes.
Okay.
And I start moving away from.
You start moving away from Argus. Argus is on.
No,
that,
not from Argus. From the sound that I heard.
Sure, Argus
And
is on that particular hillock
Where
where
the creature-
sound came from beyond.
Nope, not going that way.
Okay, yeah, cool.
And I just motioned for you to come along.
I only have a couple of these.
A moment later, you do see a bipedal, like
in case we need it.
that type of like big open tri-mouth thing that was like running at you before. No arms, just like
Get some dust.
that marauder type thing. that just kind of sits on the top of the hill and goes like. It's got these big like 3 mandibles. That's just part of its form. It's all fleshy. And it sniffs, and it almost gives you like. It appears to be like half-heartedly grabbing at this ghost of Argus, kind of floating there, but unable to like get purchase. Like it knows it's there, but it can't really grab onto it.
I just think, thanks,
Argus,
buddy.
you feel like like that, like if for some reason your legs really just start to itch for a moment, and you're not sure why.
Which is weird because I can't feel my legs anyway.
Yeah, it's very strange.
It's like
It's like a
that,
burning itch all over your legs.
Yeah, it's like that like that neuro feeling of itch, where there's not actually a mosquito bite or anything. It's just your nerves telling you that you need to scratch. So that happens. You see that that happens a moment later. You guys are just moving in the opposite direction. There are still those kind of wilted trees here.
Okay.
One of the things I will say is that this doesn't seem to be this never seems to be the exact same space as it is before. As you move, Trishani, are you moving quietly or fast?
Quietly, because I know that these things are.
So both of you please roll stealth checks for me.
And do better than last time. It's better, but not great. 8.
8.
If I can't hear the noise I'm making, do I need to roll at disadvantage?
No, because no.
Okay.
I mean, because you know
She
what
told
you
me to
do
be
not to
quiet.
make noise.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because-
You're not an idiot. You're a very intelligent individual.
Yeah.
25.
25. Yeah. So Zemdak's just like, he just puts his hands on all of his tools that are on his like apron, and he just tiptoes like a gnome would. And he's very, very quiet.
And even with my now.
There's like a moment where he's like humming for a second, then he stops because he feels like, oh yeah, I'm humming. I shouldn't do that.
Even with my boot-free feet, I'm like quaking because
Well, here's
of
what happens. You guys move quickly but quietly in the opposite direction. And Trishani, you glance back to see what's going on, to see if there's like any more show up. You do start to see like perhaps maybe another one show up, but before you can really get a image of what it is, you feel like the ground beneath you just drop. Completely drop, and you like have that like falling feeling where you instinctually turn back in fractions of a second, and one of your feet is just over this ledge, and you lean back, and a bunch of rocks like tumble down the air, which gives off a decent amount of sound that echoes. You look down this ledge. This is not a naturally forming ledge. This looks as though someone took a massive like chef's knife into, if a planet was made out of like a piece of cake, and just made a nice like perfect slice into it, and it just goes down until you can't see anymore. A perfect level slice, as if like there was like someone cut a planet in half.
As though
like
the
a
planet
cake.
was made of cake?
As if the planet was made of cake.
I don't want to have my cake and eat it too.
And it just ends, and you look all the way in every direction, and it's just like that everywhere. It is at an angle, like what looks like to be maybe like a 60-degree angle.
How wide is the gap?
There's nothing on the other side. You see stars.
Okay.
Like you see the night sky that you would see, like maybe the vague simulacrum of it, just extend all the way down and around.
Okay.
Like you are actually at the edge of the world.
Yeah.
And it's so like sleek and level. Perfect.
Okay. Do you want to keep
That is where you guys are.
fun?
We're gonna first thing roll death saving throws for you two because you're unconscious, and then we'll do LEAs.
And disadvantage.
I finally get to
actually,
use...
while you do that, roll them. Don't tell me what it is. We're gonna do Argus. Argus, you are floating there. You see Meckel disappear. Everyone is split. What the fuck happened? So you see Meckel disappear. You are floating there. What is it you'd like to do?
I'm gonna try to run in and talk to Mini Meckle.
Okay,
See if
cool.
I
Are
can
you
try
trying
to
to go
calm
through the
it down.
doorway or like through the wall?
Did you feel too?
Well, I mean, I'd run back in the room because I really want. I'm worried about my friends.
Sure. You're
That's
kind of like
really,
floating. You're not actually making contact with the ground, if that means anything. You start to think about moving in that direction, and you just kind of float in that direction. You kind of phase through the wall as you're like, whoa, and
Whoa.
you just do that. and you just kind of start to float towards young Meckel. What is young Meckel doing? Is young Meckel like panicking, or what's happening? Because young Meckel was just sucked out of space and put somewhere else.
At this point, Meckel is trying to find that presence that he saw a minute ago, get his bearings, and the only
So
thing
like
that-
looking around.
Yeah.
You see this form just kind of phase
my
through
cloak that
this
kills everybody
immaterial
else.
wall that kind of comes through into the room. That's headed towards you.
I'm assuming I don't get any positive or negative feeling. It's just another presence at this point.
I mean, that's up to you.
Well, I'm asking.
But like, I don't see why that would be something that I could tell you. But that's entirely up to you. I think you have a complete agency over your younger form in this instance. What's happening in the physical realm and actually hurting people, it's probably what I'm doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, it is what you're doing.
Yeah.
Just to be clear. So I will, in my younger
we know who to
form,
blame.
go as far away from my physical form as I can towards.
Very, very interesting. Okay, I want you to then roll me a wisdom saving throw to see if you can try to separate your brain from your body.
14.
14. I think you do make it like maybe 15, perhaps 20 feet away from you before you feel those like shackles of like genie tied to the lamp.
All right.
Before you can't really go much farther.
I'll go as far as I can, and then I'll kind of like reach out towards it.
Yeah, I mean, but
I'll
with
reach
that
out
movement,
towards
you
it.
guys can get right next to each other if you want to.
Yeah.
Now, do I see it as Argus's form, right? Or do I just see a ball?
I mean, would you and your younger self recognize this as Argus?
No.
Just another person that's there.
Just another person. That's the only one around.
Yeah,
so
you can
I would
reach
just
out to
try
him.
to touch it.
Sure. Argus, what do you do?
I'll reach out towards him and I'll be like,
With
"Michael, is that
hands?
you?"
Like, touch hands?
Yeah, we'll touch hands.
Okay. You guys touch hands. It feels so odd. For the moment, how do I explain this? It's as if portions of two minds become one for a moment. Argus, you have memories of being unwanted, abandoned, sick, and somebody coming and saying, "I'll take care of you," like disembodied, no body, no voice. Come with me. Meckel, you have visions of some sort of symbol that looks like a bunch of motes and flames tied together, carved into like the back of a drawer somewhere, and a voice. What it sounds like, like a matronly voice, like, I suppose you should know more. And just like kind of like visions of each other's childhood, back and forth and back and forth. And it's too disjointed for you to really be getting cohesive ideas, but the longer you remain in this... Actually, I want you both to roll insight checks, just flat, regardless of your exhaustion, because your body is not part of this right now.
My mind to your mind.
And don't talk to me about mind stuff later on. This is different.
Fear's the mind killer.
So we're just doing a
Straight con save. Oh, I'm sorry, straight... what'd I say? Wisdom save. Yeah.
wisdom save. I got a 21.
21. What about you, Argus?
12.
12. Argus, this is a lot, but you're learning things too. You feel like there's like this disembodied voice starts to get clearer. You have some hints and perhaps like inklings as though this could be more information of stuff. Like you might be learning more about what Meckel hasn't told you. And so you do what it is. It's up to you. Would you like to keep holding on?
Yeah, I want to try to.
Meckel, you realize as you're doing so that this stuff is being transferred back and forth, even though your younger self is like not sure. Imagine you, as your younger self, now starting to realize that your individuality is fading as you are becoming one person, and you will no longer be separate. What would the younger self of you do in that moment of realization?
Given that he basically, Meckel realizes that this is a way for him to kind of not be so alone and fully embraces Argus.
You let it happen. Wow. Okay.
What is with our group?
Yeah.
Like melding minds with other people. I've done it.
Okay.
Zemdak's done it.
You let it happen. You
Well,
lean into it.
I
You lean into it.
I lean into it, and
Yeah.
more so than just Meckel makes the
accepting people.
active choice to
That
actually
makes a lot of sense for you because
leans into
you
it.
don't.
Yeah.
One of your worst fears is being alone,
Right.
and so you lean into it. Some crazy shit starts to happen. We're gonna get back to you in a second.
Okay.
Death saving throws, please.
Fail. Same.
So we have one fail for each, right?
Yep.
Okay, we're
You
gonna
even took
let.
yours at advantage, Cole?
Yep. I rolled an 8 and a 4
Oh man, why do you have advantage?
because of my lovely cloak that
Right,
keeps
'cause
trying to
of your
murder
cloak
everybody.
that kills people. Yeah, because of your cloak that kills people. Cool.
Would Eleazar do?
Just for everybody.
Okay.
Save this one.
So,
Save this
so
jackass.
this happens all at the same time. I need you to roll a con save from the cloak because this is all happening at the same time.
But Eleazar
gonna
lays on
kill a
hands.
log.
Log, I think, is what I heard.
Yeah.
The-
No, I understand that. It's
Okay.
just that it's death save
Yeah.
because the stack happens before you can take actions. Death save happens at the beginning of your turn. Magical effects happen, and then you get to
But
take your
That's
action.
does
saves-
Eleazar come before in the initiative because of he's actually conscious, whereas these guys would be at the
I
end
thought
of
death
the...
saves took
They happen
place
at the beginning of
the-
their turn. It's
Okay.
Eleazar's is after because they saw the
way we
they
played it,
saw
we
the
Okay.
threat before Eleazar did. Does that make sense? So
Yeah,
they were
that's
like,
fine.
I'm not trying to do initiative here. I'm just trying to okay, it's death
Come.
saves, magical effect, action.
Okay.
Because none of those they just happen. They just happen. So con save
At disadvantage.
+2.
+2.
Come
I
on.
do still have one.
I was
little
about to say,
thing.
yeah.
I still have one left.
Come on, Cody. Come on.
So at disadvantage +2 because I get +1, so 14.
That's a success.
Yes. That was
So
not
you do
Cole
not
inspiring
die,
either.
right?
That was
so
me
Eleazar
inspiring.
sees this happen again as he's still moving quietly, stealth. There's so many shit going on. There's so many rolls that are happening right now. I don't think I've ever been this bogged down in rolls.
We were
before.
just literally trying to leave the room.
yeah.
We were done. We didn't want to
We
fight
wanted to leave the
anymore.
room. And then Meckel had to blow up.
16.
16. I'll say that's a success. You move another 5 feet. I'll say the next turn you'll make it to the edge of the creep. You can do your lay on hands onto log.
Yep.
You said.
I mean, I can only do it one creature at a
Yeah,
time,
it's an action,
so,
yeah.
I'll pump 5 hit points into you.
I think what happens is that the wisp starts to go again, and Eleazar takes log and kind of tosses him up in the air for a moment, grabs the wisp and just kind of wraps it around Cole for a moment, and tries and tucks him under the arm, and then catches log and pumps lay on hands into him. Eleazar's
Why are you
just,
carrying me?
Oh, is he talking now?
yeah, he
Bob
did.
just said something. Yeah.
Oh
But
man!
that
Are
makes
we
sense for
Far
log.
enough deep into the court, into the hallway,
does.
though.
We've only
For what?
moved 5
You said
feet.
I got to the edge of the creep.
Next
You will
turn,
at the
you
next
will.
turn get to the edge.
Yeah, but oh, okay.
Yeah, you said at the end of the next turn you'll get to the because you're only moving 5 feet per round.
Getting into the hallway though, like if we broke in line
The
of
s-
sight to this thing.
Line of sight does not affect the sound that it can hear.
Okay.
The sonic effect and the eldritch madness of being able to see it are two different effects. Seeing it for the first time makes you roll a wisdom saving throw to whether you are stunned or not, and then if you succeed, you're immune to it for an hour. Making a noise that it can hear then causes it to send a sonic thing in that direction that just kind of
Gotcha.
you know how
No.
sound travels at certain hertz where it can pass through solid objects, that type of thing, and then it just this thing is you
I
pick
gotcha.
you flip the town clearer version of this thing. This
Yeah.
thing destroys entire towns. So
Cool.
Noel's over there cool. So yeah, and then the range on this thing is absolutely phenomenal.
Don't
so,
you wish you were there to study it and
Granted.
Yeah, but
So
I'm...
they need to make con saves again?
Yes, y'all need to make con saves again. Yeah, because it's it's an area of effect that hits that spot.
Oh,
that
I was
guy
nice
done?
though.
Yeah, I think so.
Just make the save.
Yeah, it's a 17 if I don't forget correctly.
So, I'm sorry. I forgot Eleazar's there. 9.
What'd you get?
So with Eleazar,
Well, it doesn't matter. You're unconscious. You take another death fail.
You had me roll last time too, so
Oh,
that's
yeah,
why I'm
sorry.
confused.
But you're at 2 death failures.
yeah.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Really bad.
I fail.
Okay. So
I'm
what? How
back.
much damage did it?
Wait.
I
see.
rolled a 1 and a 2, so you get 3 points
3,
of damage.
and you got
still
5, so
alive.
you're
I'm
still
still
up.
But if you fail, you get another level of exhaustion.
So I'm at 4.
You got 4 levels of exhaustion.
We need to get you to
Slaps
bed.
a hand over your mouth.
Now, what are we doing with Cole as far as exhaustion? Since he
You failed. You still get that point of exhaustion.
Okay,
Yeah, 'cause your
I
body
did
still
pass the
gets-
last
I
one,
wasn't
so
sure.
Your body still
no,
gets.
I just
Basically-
I passed it, but I just didn't have enough hit points from the combat.
Oh,
So
I see.
to make
All right.
sense of what's happening, it's like the sound is so intense, it's breaking down the cells in your body. Like
19.
it's disintegrating red blood vessels,
You
white
did
blood
three- You did 3
cells,
points of damage.
brain cells. Like it's absolutely disintegrating this stuff within your respiratory.
Well, that's already
vascular
happening
system.
anyway for Cole right
from
now.
all-
So
from the gut from the what was it the
no,
drink?
because Cole is like dead. Cole's unconscious,
Yeah.
so he's
Eleazar
technically that's happening
slams a
anyway.
hand over Log's mouth
Yeah, sure.
and then just goes.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah. Okay. So
Well,
I would
but
say,
aren't you
yeah,
no,
you
you're
guys
not
know not
unconscious,
to
you're
make
still alive.
noise.
Yes.
Eleazar's been doing a very good job of being quiet, although moving very, very quiet, very slowly.
Yes.
But it does make a whole lot of sense for Log to wake up and be like, "What the fuck? Why are you?" And that makes way too much sense for it not to have happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean-
Yeah. That's very, very Log. So great. So that's the end of that. Is there anything else, Eleazar, would like to do? That was your movement and your action.
He doesn't really. Yeah.
You have bonus actions, but be aware of ones that have vocal components.
He doesn't really. His new shield bash is like his bonus action.
And to make it
Cole
fair
uses
so you guys
reaction
understand,
to
it's
die
not
in
it's
Eleazar's arms.
the ability is not something that requires his reaction to do. It's one of
just
those things like
procs when it
it's like
triggers.
he
How
has
many
made the
time-
area around him in a very large radius like his lair. And things that happen just happen when
But
it
they
happens.
happen
It's the
multiple
equivalence of him.
times.
It's yeah.
Every time a sound.
I would say it's like legendary
turn.
actions. He can't do it more than 3 times around.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like one of those old fail missions where they're like in video games, where
Yeah.
they're like, "Don't make a sound," and as soon
Yeah.
as you make like the tiniest sound, you
Yeah.
instantly
Yeah,
fail.
I'm just wondering, like, how many times every 6 seconds can that?
Yeah, I would
work
say
go
he
on?
can do it at the limit of 3 times. He's done it twice
Okay.
this round, but he's about to have his turn, so it's about to refresh. So
And
it
I
doesn't
have
matter.
a
Yeah, doesn't matter.
mechanical question.
Sure.
For scrolls, do you still have to do the BSM components, or is it just you burn it?
Oh, that's a very good point. I would say having a scroll of a spell, if I'm not mistaken, still requires you to cast the spell in its way. It just doesn't expand
From what
the
I
spell
understand,
slot.
that
'Cause you
it
still have to, like,
doesn't
read the-
expand a spell
Yeah.
slot, and that replaces the material.
Yeah,
component.
it replaces the
Material
material
com-
and it
but-
replaces the spell slot. But you still, if
So
it
have
has
to
a
do the
vocal
vocal
component,
and
you're
the
reciting
somatic.
the
Yeah.
spell. You know,
Okay,
from the
just
scroll.
just making
Yeah.
sure.
No, you're
Okay,
fine. Yeah,
Cool.
I think
This
that makes
doesn't come
a
up
lot
Yeah,
of
very
sense.
that's
often.
kind of what. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, everybody okay? Probably not.
No.
Everybody's probably this sucks.
No.
Yeah, no, it's not great. I will say Eleazar is the only and Log are the only ones conscious at the moment of being exposed to this. Both of you can roll insight checks, regardless of your exhaustion. This is a flat roll. This is more to do with some really like straight, visceral, in the moment experience than it has to do with cognitive thought. Is what I want to say.
13.
13.
9.
9. Okay. Log, you're just like, I guess I'm being quiet. Eleazar's is like, okay, what happened last time when he transformed?
Killed him.
You did enough damage to him before he passed out. You killed him. You killed him.
I hope so.
And then you brought him back to life. But when you brought him back to life, he was still unconscious and he didn't transform back. He was unconscious. He was asleep. Elias is like, either we have to beat this thing into submission or we have to make it not conscious in some way.
Or we just have to run away from it.
Or run away from it. Yeah. Yeah. You're more than welcome to try. So that is that. Argus
Yeah.
and Meckel. You guys touch each other. Argus, you're now starting to realize that you're losing, as you are who you are, not your younger self. You're starting to realize that you're losing your individuality as far as like you and Mekal are becoming one mind and one being, and you're not sure if that is reversible. Is there some? Do you let it happen, or are you trying to resist it?
I got a 21.
Yeah. I say that Will, because he's leaning
Do
into
I
it.
have all of my things?
All of your abilities? Yeah. Yeah. I said you still
No,
have your
all of my
spell slots.
physical things.
Yeah. Why don't you tell me specifically what it is that you're trying to get
I
to?
want to pull out Granny Lonely's doll.
Oh
Give to
my.
Mekal to never be alone.
Okay. So here's the deal.
Are we breaking?
Arcus has
GM
suspicions
right
as to
now?
how these dolls work, right? Why don't you tell me what those suspicions are so
yes.
that you can, so like you remember what happened with souls and stuff and like people. Okay,
yeah.
So why don't you just put it into some very very succinct words so that we are both on the same page.
Well, I want to give Mekal's soul the doll so that it can be taken away from it and to,
You know what
I
these
don't
dolls
know
do.
exactly what this doll does.
Yeah, but you
I
had a
really
feeling.
don't.
Okay, what was your feeling? Tell me what you're feeling.
My feeling is the doll can house souls.
Okay, great. We're on the same page. You are trying to you can I would say you can reach into something that you think would be your pack and pull out this ethereal doll. Yeah. And you're trying to give it to Mekal.
Mm-hmm.
What is your intent in this moment then, other than trying to just make him not feel alone?
I want to separate,
Okay.
and it seems like his soul is trapped within this being. So I'm trying to help his soul, one, come to peace, and two, maybe go into this doll that we might be able to find him a new body that is not mangled by the doctor.
That is fucking nasty, insane, and I am so here for it.
And
This is
beautiful.
wild. This is gonna be one of these roles. I wish you were here. But who wants to? I'm gonna roll it for you.
Yeah, since you're not here.
I'm
to
gonna
put it
roll
through.
for you, and this is going to be a wisdom saving throw at disadvantage because he's leaning into it. But we're going to do actually a series of rolls over a couple of rounds because this is a process. This is not something you guys haven't seen Granny Lonely put souls into dolls before, but this is not something that just
No, but
happens.
We've seen Granny Lonely eat a soul out of the doll.
That's true. Yeah.
I have no clue what's
Or
going on.
actually, actually, if I remember correctly, we saw her eat several souls out of several
Yeah.
dolls.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Easier to eat a pie than bake it.
Yeah, because you were like, here's some dolls, because she almost died when she
because
had
she
that
touched
vision.
knowledge of
Well, no,
Kaorti.
on the
touched-
first one, she needed it and she had grabbed it, and then
What dodge?
of the Kaorti.
Yeah, she
the
touched-
knowledge of that.
So she touched some.
we had
weird
we had
knowledge.
asked a very specific question that touched on
forced her-
knowledge she wasn't supposed to talk about.
Yeah. Yep. Guys, so this is woo. Okay, a lot of cool stuff. Guys. You're pulling out all your cool items from a while back. Okay, this is dope. So here's the deal.
Me too.
I mean, he's a little kid. He's gonna want it's a little doll.
So here's the deal.
It looks like me.
What is it? It does look
And he's
just
trying
like
to hug
Argus.
me.
And you were wanting a doll earlier.
No, I wasn't.
You
wanted
know,
Lammy.
You wanted
Lammy.
Lammy's a doll.
Yeah.
Lammy's a lamb-shaped
No,
doll.
no,
Lammy is that.
Yeah.
That's Lammy up there
Yeah.
in the corner.
We're not showing it for copyright reasons.
Yeah.
Nice.
Say that.
So here's the deal. You're gonna go. What's your wisdom saving throw modifier?
+8.
+8. Okay. So you can roll it at disadvantage. For the first success for this, you have to beat a 15. So the lower of the two has to be a 7 or more. Okay?
What do I do? Because I'm.
You're just leaning into it. Nah, you're giving him
You're
disadvantage.
causing
That's
the
what's happening.
disadvantage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what he's doing. with
Yeah,
it.
yeah. I mean, it makes some sense. You'd be entirely oblivious as to what's going on. So here's what we're going to do. That was a natural 20.
Do it again.
That was a 4.
That's Argus.
Yeah. That.
Yeah.
You don't
Argus,
even have to
bad.
be
I
here
don't
to
know what-
to have your luck
Also,
play.
Argus, if I remember correctly, because I actually looked at your character sheet earlier today.
Yes, you can use
have
it.
4 DM inspirations or 4 world inspirations that you have been banking
Hey.
up.
I'm
Yo.
a hoarder. It's okay.
He's been banking them up for resurrection or revivify and stuff like that.
You
would
know,
you like to
The
use one of
current
those?
situation we are in right now.
for a flame cleric, it makes sense to
Yeah.
make sure you have firewood.
Would
when
you
need
like
it.
to use one of those right now?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Here we go. That's a 7. That's exactly what you needed. So that comes to a 15. That's a success. That's 1 success. We're going to come back to you and we're going to do another one in a bit.
This is wild.
It gets harder
Oh my
every time.
God, this is intense right
This is
now.
insane.
hate you
This is gonna be
guys so
really
much.
cool.
Still don't know what's going on, but
Yeah.
okay.
I'm like,
Zemdak,
sense. It makes sense.
Yeah, no, it's
Zemdak,
fine.
this is all your fault because you were the one who started splitting from the group initially.
No, it's nobody's fault. The whole situation is just insane. I'm sorry, Ken, what'd you say?
Super insane.
nothing. I said, do I need to start driving in now? What are we going?
Okay, so
I just wanted a hug.
And I gave you a friendly doll made by
Not
a
calling it
hag
doll.
of loneliness.
okay, so
He's hugging you back and trying to.
Yeah, and trying to shove me
yeah,
in the doll.
get
I'm
He's trying to shove the
transfer. It's
doll
like the
in
little
place of him.
kid
It's like the
who's,
Indiana Jones
hanging on
thing.
to you.
I'm
and you're
clinging
trying
to
to get
don't scream, don't
the
scream.
doll to move on.
okay, so here. That was
Hugging you
Eleazar,
back.
that was you guys. We're back to Machete and Zemdak.
You got it!
Ah,
Fuck yeah!
Take
Yeah.
Isn't that a DM? Isn't that
Big
a world
one.
inspiration?
Yes, it is. Yes, it
She
is.
she made the
World
deal.
inspiration.
She made the deal today.
I did.
Yes, she did.
She made, so I called her by the wrong twin name.
Oh,
And
okay.
I made a deal with her a long time ago where if she actually does strike the deal, but at the beginning of the session or right before the session, that I make the mistake, she gets a world inspiration.
I mean, this
All right,
this
keep
deal
doing
this
that.
deal materialized after he
Some
like
little bit.
one
She
session
often
like
forgets
just
to
called
take
her
the
Machete
deal,
the entire
so-
time.
Like 3 or 4 times. So
Yeah.
Machete and Trisheni. I mean, they are twin
It's
names.
very,
They're
very different. Yeah, sometimes
Yeah,
it just
but-
slip of the tongue.
But
That's why you don't name your twins the same.
I didn't. She did.
I'm just saying. She knew how you play.
Okay, so we are at Trisheni and Zemdex. You can't catch it. There's a statute of limitations on this. I don't think you can. I'll say per episode.
no, of course, of
Okay,
course.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No.
So you got her point.
You
I got my
your
point.
You got your point for this
But
episode. After
as somebody
the
who dies
break-
frequently, I really appreciate this point.
Okay, so you are at the edge of this
This
world plane. It's weird too because you can actually see the layers of sediment as you look down. You could even see some like warm pieces of like if there would be a mantle or like a core to this planet. Like you can see it all the way down there. It's very, very, very far away, but
I'll put out my hand again. Take my hand as
I-
I try to like.
I would probably be like holding on
Still
to
holding
your,
on?
your belt or something.
Okay. I'm
So
still
we s-
concentrating on
'cause
fly.
I can't hear which direction.
you didn't have to make a con save yet.
No.
Because you're in the
I'm-
goddamn other
and
plane,
I'm-
so you're not getting this cognitive dissonance.
No, I did, and I used my other selves to help.
Yeah, no,
Probably
I'm saying,
murdered
but now
one
that
of
you're
them.
in this plane, you're
since
not
you're on this
hitting
plane,
it
you haven't had to
because
make a
that's
con save,
consistent.
is
It's
what you're
constant.
saying.
Every round
Yes.
you have
Yeah.
to do it, but you're not there.
No.
So
Okay.
go up.
Okay.
So,
I have to roll for the Marauders.
Yep. So go up very quietly, the full movement that I can. That's
We just start flying.
You see
along.
2.
6.
You see 2 that are on the veil there, sniffing around, trying to hear.
Argus moved.
Argus moved.
So
You can
does,
see
like,
Argus now.
Does his movement like?
His movement went
Like
like closer,
T-Rex's,
kind of like
like-
cat-corner to you.
No, but I mean, but is there a tension on this moving thing?
Oh, I would say yeah. I think they kind of like an anglerfish lure, just kind of
Right.
like and trying to
Right.
head towards Dargus. But
Versus
he's
the
much
rocks.
more above the ground now, so they're kind of doing that little hop thing where they can't reach the thing.
Versus the-
they gone down the hillock a little bit.
Rocks trickling off the edge.
Yeah, they're more focused on Argus now than they are on you guys. So you very, very quietly fly up. You're okay.
Fly up 60 feet. You're holding onto my belt.
Okay. Ooh, I forgot.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
Okay, you fly up 60 feet.
Oh,
Not with that face.
I know that face. I know that face.
30 feet. How about
30
that?
feet?
30
No,
feet.
no, no. You don't get to take it back.
All right. I said
Flat
60
60 feet?
feet. I said 60 feet, but at the same time, fuck that face.
The cat who caught the fucking cream, dude.
Should we try to get back, or we can blast that?
As she
trying.
says that, you see a hand
I'm
reach from
not-
behind her shoulder and
I'm
wrap
not
around her
actually verbally saying
I
that.
don't know.
Yeah.
As you
but-
communicate that,
yeah.
you see one of those
Faceless.
hands reach and put its fingers slowly around her shoulder in like midair. It doesn't make any sense. It didn't come from anywhere. And you just see the head come out from behind her shoulder, very like hammer space style.
Fuck
like
this.
just as it like almost as if it like came out of her back, but it couldn't possibly.
You see like the proverbial deer and like the eyes just go. "Hmm?"
And I'm assuming I feel pressure on my.
You do.
Fuck.
You feel one on your waist. You feel one on your ankle.
All right, here we go. And I just try to like
All
grab
right,
onto you.
guys.
I try to grab onto you
Just
even
hold
more.
on as tight as
yeah,
possible.
yeah.
Welcome to the last episode of the
I want you to
majority
roll
of
an
the
insight
Argent
check
play.
for me.
We should
I want you to
just
do two
drop
things.
you.
I want you to roll an insight check, and I want you to roll another Horizon.
So. in this
With the same
creature,
DC that happened
there's
with
like
that
these T-Rex,
stays in the
like,
cumulative. I just want to know
marauder
what
is what he calls
happened.
them, but they're
What
like
were you at? Were you at like 5 or some shit?
no-arm
I
T-Rex.
failed at my
There's
previous one
also-
was 7.
Right,
I
because you're
failed.
still in the space. So
Creatures
it's-
No,
with, like, zero
I failed, so I
features.
went back to the
There's
1.
no
I know, but
face
right now
to
you're still in the
They're
space,
made
so
out
it's
of
still
rock.
7 for the purposes of this. What's happening right now?
Okay,
Blue
I
This
got
is
more-
different thing.
I got that
Sort of
for my insight. I
sparkly
got
stuff.
higher than that on the die.
What'd you get? That's not. We're doing
Insight?
two different
Some of
things.
them
What's
Okay.
your insight? Just tell me
Some of
total.
them are
18.
highly
18. Okay,
antagonistic.
this doesn't feel like a malicious grasp. This feels
But we
like
don't know which
a
are which because we can't.
Helping
They're just
the
blue spark-
parties that-
cradling grasp.
We have no
The party that I allowed to help
reference to know
kind
which
of
ones are
something like
friends.
that.
come in. Yeah.
So
except
now roll Event Horizon again.
I at the 7 or at the 8,
At
I
the
guess
s-
now.
Yeah. No. It's just 7. What for the moment you went in to
Seven or
hear
higher.
that DC, which was 7. So yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
Grab on. It's okay.
Oh yeah, like I saw them and I'm like, oh, something's happening.
It was 7 on the die. Event Horizon does it add anything, or is it literally like a
It
luck
beats
check?
you. It was 7
Add
on a
5.
7.
Add 5.
yeah.
It's not a saving throw.
It's not a.
It's not a saving throw. It is basically my own mechanical luck check type of
Luck.
thing. It's you got a dead on 7 on 7.
Nope,
Yeah.
it's- She,
No. I need to know. Like, really, did you need a yes or
did
no?
you roll
Did
Yes.
you get a 7 on a 7
yes, I did.
DC?
Why would I say anything else?
Okay.
But I could
it's
just
an ability check or say like
Do you let me know? I mean, like, it's not an ability check. It's like a.
Okay.
It's
It's the equivalent of like a luck check.
It's like a wild magic check.
yeah. You can't.
It's like
Can't
cumulative.
influence
You
it.
can't
No.
influence it.
Okay.
It's. I,
Well, let it ride.
I can't tell
Let it
you
ride?
because I can't.
Let it ride.
Do it. Do it.
All right. You ready? Let's go.
You feel
Let's
these
go.
things pull you in, and you get sucked into. And Argus, you feel just off in the distance this shuddering and tearing of something that should not be.
Probably.
You don't know what, but you just. It was just weird. It was like something off. Like while you are like focusing on this and trying to like do the doll and everything, off in the distance you.
Could
Something that's like partially distracting but very strange and just it shouldn't be there, but you can't look at that right now. You have to focus on what it is that you're doing. What's
It's
up?
not.
could Misheni have also felt that?
Oh, absolutely. In fact. Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah. In fact, Misheni, I don't know. We're not going to do this time chronologically.
No, but
And I'm not going to put this into the baker's dozen
No,
because it
it's
would be
just a
too
moment.
wonky.
It's a moment.
It would be a pain in the ass to do so.
It's a moment that Machini kept to herself during.
yeah.
I would say so. It was something that a moment that Misheni came to herself that she felt. But I will let you know that Misheni does receive some sort of insight. I think, at the very least, Misheni feels a lot more connected with you, not even just in this moment, but like from now on. There is a chance, not mechanically, because you hit the jackpot. You got it right on what it was. What's going to happen is that you now have the potential of being able to long-term communicate with your twin without the use of magic at any time through any realm, but you have to roll for it, and the DC is a moving target. You have no idea what it is, and it's like jackpot. It doesn't mean don't have to like. It's not like you have to get it or above. You have to hit it. But if you hit it, you can transfer.
Do like ascending, basically.
It's not just ascending. You can transfer everything that is yourself to them. I don't mean that you get to avatar into them. I mean, like, if they need spells, if they need health, if they need knowledge in that moment, you can give them everything in that moment. How I'm going to mechanically do this?
I told you, you and your sister were the
become
same
one
person.
soul with 2 bodies.
You become one entity that is still maintains your individuality. Basically, the opposite of what the Argus and Meckel are trying to do right now.
Yeah.
She's basically become
insane that these are happening. At the exact
She's
same time.
basically become what we made her freak out about not that long ago.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And so here's the deal, though. You still maintain your individuality. However, how I'm going to do this mechanically, because between the 2 campaigns, is that this is now an ability that both of you can call upon at any time. I will not reinforce this because I'm not going to try to say, oh, well, it was this day in this campaign and it was this day in the other campaign. I'm just going to say, if you get the jackpot, you get access to everything that your other sister has. And I'm just going to assume at that point they were sleeping or some other shit. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not going to do that. It doesn't take away from that character. It's just that you only get gains. That's what you get from getting a jackpot. You get gains. So you will get access to all of your other twins' spells, spell slots, abilities.
Like
maximum
literally
health.
my exact.
Your maximum health would essentially double because you get also temporary hit points.
That's amazing.
That are also part of your twins' stuff.
So this jackpot
Thanks for letting me write it,
unlocks the
Kenton.
potential.
Basically,
Another jackpot would be to actually have this happen.
yes, yeah. This unlocks the potential for that to happen. You can call upon this ability once a day, like once per long rest.
Okay.
If you'd like to. It's like the heart that we roll for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like that. You have to get the natural 20. You have to. But this is a moving target. I roll d20, and you have to roll the same number. It's not going to happen. It happens very, very little. But if it does, you become a god, kind of.
So
like,
this opened the pipe for this to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is what happened.
But that's not all that happens.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's the other
You
shoe.
feel this absolutely innate connection between, like, you feel phasing, like, between visions of yourself, actual, like, permutations of ethereal versions of your sister and each other, kind of like doing that whole fusion and passing between each other and being pulled back in different versions of yourself as you get younger and younger and younger and younger and younger until you see, like, the part of you ethereally where you were actually together holding hands as a child before you were actually separated, but for the first time. You see visions of Papa Micah, you see visions of your father. And you and Zemdak tumble out onto not where these guys are.
Do I see anything?
Yeah.
You see
that's
all
the
of
question.
this.
Okay.
You see all of this. You see, this is
Wild.
heartbreaking.
These aren't just visions in her head. These are like...
You're like holding onto her waist and stuff like that, and you're like, ah, and watching all of this, and you feel like it feels.
As she's de-aging and like seeing these memories.
Yeah, it's like there's like an avatar of her de-aging. It's like it's weird. It's like there's like a form, like a superimposed form of her that's getting smaller and smaller and younger until she's holding her sister's hand. It's heartbreaking, and but it's also like
I'll tell you a
also
little bit
feel
more
like
about that
you
particular
are-
moment because that was pivotal.
Yeah, you are also feel like you are privy to a lot of very, very private
yeah.
information,
Yeah.
and you should not be looking.
This is
like,
reading her diary.
Like somebody, like somebody's changing, and you shouldn't be looking, but you're like forced to witness all of it. Like this is
can always
this is
let
a
go.
lot.
I have no idea what's going to happen. I'm lost in the time stream if I let go.
You walked in
Yeah.
on Trisheni in the shower and the door locked behind you. You can't get back out kind of thing.
It's
That and more of like these were things that were her personal memories
Like her...
that she has been forced to bear, and there's probably a lot of stuff. There's probably a lot of mixed feelings and emotion and like shame.
Whatever
and,
trauma you went through.
yeah.
as
You would have
well.
seen that too.
yeah, you see a lot of the trauma.
Plus,
You see.
How are you gonna feel while we're trying to go see her parents?
Fuck.
You,
This is gonna be
like,
good.
You feel like just a sliver of the trauma that she was when she was
Fuck. I thought
in
last session
underground
was intense.
in a bunker for 2 years without another soul.
2 to 3. We
2
don't
to
know.
3 years without another soul, and the only thing that kept her. You see parts of her leaning down and having like conversations with Lammy, going actually insane because she did not have anything, in almost complete darkness.
I had the hang in there poster.
And you have the hang-in poster with the little cat hanging in there on the branch, and that was it. And you ate the seeds and
Good berries all the
good
time.
berries, and that's it every day, nonstop for 2 to 3 years. You get to, in this moment, have actually a sliver of true empathy with what it is that she's gone through.
Just a sliver.
Yeah. Well, because you weren't there. You feel it.
As
you
much
see
as
it.
you can secondhand.
Yeah.
essentially.
Right.
much
and
as you
within,
can.
And within even 30 seconds.
Her like soul and
if that.
history is like kind of laid bare for you. Not everything, but it's a very pivotal
Okay,
thing.
so we spill out
You spill out.
somewhere new.
Not there.
Yep.
You spill out on. I don't want to say it's barren. I want to say it's like. I don't want to say it's desert. There's so many things I don't want to say. I gotta say something.
Yeah.
Are they back on the island?
No. The lovely island. No. I would say
Anime
you
Beach Day.
spill out
Haunted
on some form of earth, on some form of ground, not like wood, not a building, not stone, not that type of thing. Some sort of ground.
Okay.
It immediately you can't breathe. Immediately, you feel like you can't take an air. You look above you, you see stars. You look across you. What's up?
Bubblehead.
You got it.
Yeah.
You want a cat on both of you?
Yep.
You see Zemdek and you both like. By the way, the hands are gone. There's nothing here.
Okay.
You could grab it and you like. Does it require a vocal component?
No.
Okay, cool. You do the thing,
Somatic.
but you'd still have some
Yeah.
lung air in your
You
lungs.
wiggle
Too
your
fun.
fingers as they're.
Yeah, you wiggle your fingers and both of you can breathe. As you tumble like as you like you're trying to breathe as you tumble, and you cast the thing before you come to it, but you tumble much like
As if the pull of gravity isn't as strong
As
as
the
it once
pull of
was.
gravity
To
is
players,
not as
like,
strong.
We're on the moon, kind of thing.
feels like you might be on
Okay.
the moon. Like, I mean, I won't tell you that you're on
Right.
the moon,
But
but it feels
we're
like
that sort of
For the player's
bouncy-
reference, that's what it kind of
To-
feels like.
yes.
You can't breathe. The gravity is lower. It's
I'm
not super barren, actually.
I still have death grip on Trisheni.
Yeah.
You should
Yeah.
put something there to mark it for the Argent flame.
You will also notice that you are not on the light side of whatever moon. If you are on a moon, you guys are both intelligent individuals. Why
can
don't you
I-
roll an insight check?
Can
Yeah.
I
Whatever you want.
fly?
Yeah.
Because I only use 30 feet to fly.
I will say one thing. I'm
It's up to
very
you.
tempted to make you a concentration check by being dragged through dimensions and thrown onto
Okay,
the moon.
if you'd like.
But
That's totally fine. Makes
I
sense.
I also but I'll give you advantage on it.
Okay.
Okay.
Makes sense though, because that was a lot to process again.
Yeah, the more we focus,
You can in this moment I would say, because I want to wrap this up very quickly for you guys. In this moment I could say you can roll whatever it is you'd like to roll. Just tell me what it is that you're trying to do. If you're trying to discern where you are, what's going on, that type of thing.
Because I'm
What
because
is
I'm-
it you do once you stand up?
because I'm not dancing 15.
That's enough. You
Okay.
only need to get a 10.
Okay.
Would investigation make sense? Like,
Yeah, I would say
what is this?
you see it's somewhat barren. It's not regolith. It's not like gray. There's a bit of a tinge to it, but I can't tell you what color it is because it's just it doesn't. It's not like one consistent.
Grab a handful of it.
Yeah, you can grab it. It's less dust and more kind of like rocky earth.
Gravel. Kind of.
Maybe gravel.
gravel.
Yeah, kind of gravelly. Yeah.
Small.
But a bunch of different sizes of gravel, I would say. You also are not on the light side of whatever this is. You are on the dark side of whatever this is, this planetoid or whatever. In addition to, once you finally gain your bearings and you pull up a piece of gravel and you look up on the horizon, not too far away, actually kind of dominating your vision, is a mega structure. Massive.
On this land?
Built
Or floating?
into the ground
Okay.
of this land.
Okay.
What
Okay.
looks like a double tetrahedron that is absolutely supremely massive. Zemdak, you look at that and it looks extremely familiar to the
it's an
Aetherveld
investigation,
macrolith that's
yeah.
suspended in the middle of Thulmore Bed by adamantine chains.
And Miss Shenny told me, because this is what happened during that timeline before we met at Beach
What-
Day,
yeah.
was the
What happened
structure
with the
at the bottom of
cephalomorphs
the-
under the ocean?
Yes.
Yes.
Is it that same like isocahedron?
It's double tetrahedron.
Yeah.
So like two
same shape though.
two D4s stacked
That's
on top of each other.
Same shape.
Yes,
That's
exactly same shape.
What I was. Yeah.
Same engravings.
But instead of hanging from
Instead of green,
chains,
yeah,
it's,
and instead of like with that green of like kind of terrazine-ish, blue. But kind of like low power. But it looks like Yogi, you said you want to roll investigation, yeah?
yeah.
Okay. You want to get closer to this thing?
No.
I will give you because this thing's so big. I will give you long range investigations.
I am hugging.
Yeah, you're not letting go of Trichetti
Yeah.
at all. You're like, no.
Yeah.
Gee, you don't want her leaving without you.
Yeah,
With
and
everything
other-
you've been going
another
through.
way
And go ahead.
25.
For me too? Or-
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if I had done
Yeah.
too much stuff in this room.
I don't
or
know
not.
if her strange space warpy thing is just gonna like suddenly take her away, and I don't want her leaving me behind. So
That makes sense. I'm a little distracted. 12.
12. You're trying to just stand up and like catch your breath
And-
after like this bubble appeared around your head that you didn't know what was happening
Well, and after reliving trauma.
because he
and
had to
everything-
react faster than you.
Yeah.
You were trying to concentrate on your fly spell. He was like, okay, we're rolling. I can't breathe. Both of us need to breathe. Boom. And then once he finished the spell, he's like, what the hell? And
Actually,
you
maybe
were
it was
there
more.
just like finally just seeing it for the split moment. What'd you get?
25.
25. This looks very similar to the Aetherveld macrolith. Not only that, it is somewhat embedded. It's just a slightly off kilter, just slightly, not too much. It's not straight up and down, but just maybe like 2 or 3 degrees, enough that you can notice that it is. So. But it is seems to be bedded in the ground. One of the other things, because you rolled so fucking high, one of the things that you've noticed is that there looks to be a ring around directly, at least from what you can see, what looks kind of like a mound or a hedge of like a collection of dirt in somewhat of a ring of the same pattern of if you were to draw a line straight down gravitationally from like the z-axis of the corners and the edges of this thing straight down to the ground, especially even on its tilt, there's this kind of dust line or that kind of outlines the perimeter of that as far as you can see. Almost as if there was a lot of stuff on top of this over who knows how many years, and recent movement of it has caused a lot of it to fall down directly down, almost as this thing has been activated or active recently. Because there's not a lot of dust on it anymore. But it does look like it's waning. You are here, Meckel. We're gonna do Eleazar because I know Eleazar wants to. Oh, guys, we're in like different planets and different dimensions and different places. This is insane.
Well,
This
hold
reminds
on,
me
hold on.
of one
Before the way
episode.
you did that,
Sure.
the way you first did it is it was us,
Yes.
then them,
That's
then
it.
Argus and Meckel.
Yeah, I mean, like, but now that you're conscious, you can do it. Oh, but you're still unconscious. You have
He's
to do a death
still
save.
yeah.
You're at 2 failures. Ooh,
But advantage.
Yeah, I do have advantage.
that's true.
Do you have a
Nope. Cole is dead. What happens with the cloak?
Does it
Wait,
eat him?
but you're by Eleazar.
It's a straight roll. This is a death saving throw.
No,
It
but
is-
you can. But it's still save.
You do get the
throw.
+2 to this one.
Okay, what I was.
Oh,
stuff I
you
was,
know what? Did I say that? What did I say for that?
Yeah.
No.
I think so.
Does
I
the
think
death
I did
save
let
count
you-
as a saving throw?
So, here's
It's
the
a
deal.
death saving throw.
If
Yeah.
we're referring to some editions that have books written down, that
I know.
nothing can influence this roll. However, and the reason why is because of balance reasons. However, we're playing our own game.
Yeah.
I'm happy to let in this. Actually, I'll leave it to the dice.
Okay.
Eleazar, I want to roll a luck check
Yeah, it's
with his connection with you.
Okay.
and see if it's something that's strong enough for him to be able to impart that upon you.
Yeah,
That make
'cause
sense?
With that, I succeed. Without it, I fail.
Okay, so we're gonna bring this back out again,
Yeah.
aren't we?
I mean, it's aura of protection, right? So
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
So I think it's, but
Kind
like,
of its job.
specifically it
I
does
get-
say
I
you
get you.
can't. But like, so I think it's more than fair to let V die, and that's the bone one.
oh no, I can use the bone.
But you
You
should. You
should
should
use the
totally
bone one
use
for
the
this,
bone
yeah.
one.
It hasn't been rolling very nice for me, but
This is for Cole.
For Cole.
It's not an extremely high value. You just have to hit it.
16.
That's a success. You can add the +2 to
15.
your. That's enough.
Cool. Cole
Yeah,
is
the
not
+2
dead.
He's not dead. That's one success for you.
Okay, then
I'm
action.
happy to do this every time because this is more drama. I love it.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to do if it comes down to an aura thing, have it. Be
I
a roll
kinda
with
like
the
that
connection.
myself,
I
yeah.
think it makes sense. I think it's fair, very fair
He's
that
like,
way too.
it benefited me. I like
All it does is
Oh no,
see,
actually,
I failed.
personally-
It won't
I get
always-
another roll to see if I succeed.
Yeah.
That's. I
I'm
mean,
okay
it's the,
if Cole dies.
Yeah.
So
I just thought it was funny.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
all.
Then
too.
if Eleazar can act, if he can act, he's gonna put a hand over Cole's mouth because he learned last time,
Yeah,
and he's gonna put 5 points of lay on hands into Cole.
absolutely. You got it. Done.
And now I'm officially out.
Yeah. Now they're officially out of lay on hands. You are alive. You're awake. Both of you are. You can roll a stealth check.
Not gonna be for long. Oh yeah, 15.
15. That's enough, guys. You make it past the edge. You're no longer in the creep. At the end of your turn, you're no longer in the creep, which means you're not moving at 8 speed anymore. You're only moving at
since I've been
Quarter
unconscious, am I stunned when I come out? I'm just curious. This is for my information.
right. Yeah, you're still stunned.
Okay, then I
you're
wouldn't have said anything when I
Yeah,
came
yeah,
out
yeah,
anyway.
You're still stunned. You're stunned.
Did Log have to roll for since he's not being carried anymore?
Well, no, but I thought I was still being
conscious.
carried. Yeah,
Well, I asked him if he dropped him, and he's like, "I dropped him once."
Oh,
I mean,
you did?
I would
Once
have
you're out
set-
of the creep,
I would have set
No,
log
no,
on his
before.
feet. Once I woke him up, I would have set log on his feet.
yeah. Once you're out
So
of the
he's
creep, yeah.
also
Having
quietly
to-
walking
walking with me, unless he's stayed.
Log, if you want to use your movement to go further, because Eleazar used all of his movement to get to the edge of the creep and to past it. If you want to go further, that's up to you.
I don't think he got it.
So I'm
I
no
don't
longer.
understand.
No.
Like
He after
I
he
woke
was
you
awake,
up
he set
and
him
I
down,
set you down on the
and
ground.
then he went
But
forward.
I'm not
holding-
in the
did?
creep.
No, in the creep. He sets you down in the creep.
I'm
Last
going to make
turn.
an executive decision here. I don't think Eleazar would be stupid enough to, after he gets awake, to put him down inside of the creep. I don't think he would have done that. I
Okay.
think he would have held on to him
Okay.
and tried to keep both of them there. I'm like, that
And
makes
then
a
he
little bit more
bangs
sense.
his
It makes it
symbol
easier.
over your head.
But I was told to be
mean-
silent, so I'm being silent.
Yes.
I mean, we're lucky that didn't happen when he threw
Both
log
of
in the
you
air
do
and
get
caught him.
set down outside of the creep on the first square of regular ground. All three of you do.
It does say we're live, but it's just showing.
Now on the internet.
Well, I mean, from what I see on YouTube, we're live.
Are we? Okay.
Yeah, from what
You
I can
just see
tell.
I-
a shoe wagging at
It
you.
Uh,
it says live, but I'm seeing the
You might be looking at the
The
previous
actual
thing that
live
just
thing
ended.
and not the actual. Not
Does
the
it say
stream.
an hour and 47 minutes in the timeline in the
there
time
it
frame?
is. Yes.
Yeah, we're up on Twitch. It didn't want to function for a second, but it's working now.
Okay, good.
So now it's back.
There's probably
All right, we will
attached or
cut all of this out, please. Okay, so all
I was ready to go with
Log,
coffee, too.
Cole, and Eleazar are outside of the creep. The first square that's available that's clear of the creep. Log and Cole, you already took your turns this round. Well, Log didn't. Cole did for the death saving throw.
I'm stunned anyway. Still,
Yeah, and
so.
you're stunned anyway. Log, if you
Eleazar's
want to
turn was-
move, you can. You have your turn. You have all of your action economy.
We're kind of in the middle of something.
Bring your kid on. Bring your kid on.
Well, no, my wife's back. My kids are like, "Aren't you supposed to leave?"
Yeah.
We're almost about to. We're getting there.
We're getting ready.
Yeah, we're getting ready. Okay, go ahead.
So I was just checking something. If I were to make myself invisible so I could get advantage on stealth, it still is a verbal component, so I'm not going to do that. Because
So here's. I will give you the. You may certainly make an attempt to try to whisper to your best of ability to make it quiet. You do not know the extent as to which this thing can sense sound.
Would being
And right
invisible
now-
affect that at all?
You're still lit up, correct?
What,
I
with
can't
my
answer that
spell?
question without telling him the answer.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, yeah, it's yeah.
Light spell
is,
isn't concentration.
No, it's 8 hours. Just
Okay, so, but we are the only three who are physically
Yes.
here.
Yeah, right now. Yeah, it's just the three of you.
Technically, I'm
You
here.
fucks. That's
actually, from what we know, he went mad, killed Argus,
Yeah.
transformed, killed Trisheni and Zemnak.
All right, so I'm gonna say you guys have to. You want to do something or not? Because
Okay, I'm
And-
going to.
And the main portion of the creep is transported to the other side of the room.
Right.
It's the one we've been crawling through has been withering as we've walked through it. Yes.
not the one. The one you've been crawling through. It was one that asserted itself after she went up into the corner because you were already on the side of that wall too. What she did was teleported away from the exit door.
Eleazar.
You're
Log
in,
and
you're in
Cole.
you're not in a disc difficult train anymore.
The one
that's what's
no,
important.
but the one they were walking through was
Yeah,
the
the one-
old creep
Yeah.
that was
the
withering
one that
away.
that Eleazar was walking through
Yeah.
is the new creep.
Was it
You-
Venn diagram?
The
had-
kind of
end,
thing?
the edge. So this was the exit of the
Yes.
This was the exit of the
Sure.
place.
Yes.
This was the upper tier part.
Yes.
Sure.
Eleazar, Log, and Cole got pulled away from the creep that was forming from
Back
over
towards
here
the back wall.
against this wall,
Right.
further into the room. And then when Trisheni teleported it up here, so it would be out of the doorway, they got into the creep, and now they've gotten out of
Well-
it, closer to the only exit of the room.
Okay, so
We're
we're in
close
the
to the
old
door.
creep now.
You're close to the door. You are now.
'Cause you said it was
the old creep's
withering.
not there anymore.
Okay, you
It's
said it
gone.
was withering. You
Yeah,
didn't. You
it's
didn't
gone.
never went
No,
any
no,
further
no,
than
it's
that,
gone.
so-
It's gone. It's gone. It
All
was
right.
withering very quickly to the point where it was no longer there in the instant that was doing it. It was. It
We're
like died
almost
super quick.
out the door.
You are
Yeah.
no longer in the creep. You are very close to the door.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. Sorry, Log. Go ahead.
So I mean, because if I try to do invisible, I got to roll a disadvantage to then just roll a straight roll. So I might as well just, without doing the invisibility, just try to stealthily move away.
Is that a stealth check at disadvantage then for you?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Adam, are you okay?
Adam's controlling two characters in two different situations.
Trying not to kill anybody, and I'm not.
Just pick your favorite one and let the other one wither and die. That's-
It's okay. I know it's Log. He's a lot more fun.
And it's Eleazar. It's not Zemdak, so. All right. I'm still trying not to kill him though. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want my friend to die.
Could have been really awesome, but
No.
so now when it comes to the roll persuasion, I get to decide that after the fact, or I have to use it before the fact.
Inspiration, you can use it at any time.
Yeah. You before you know if it's a success or failure.
That's what I'm asking. Or
Yeah.
do I-
Yes,
can I know
before I
after?
tell you whether it's... I mean, granted, there are situations which you already know the DC, like whether it's a medicine check or a
Yeah.
death saving throw and stuff like that, but yeah, so...
Yeah, but as
pretty
long as
much-
you haven't told him and he hasn't announced success or failure, you can use inspiration.
Also, I would also say under certain situations, to my discretion, even if you do know if it's a success or failure, I would still let you use world inspirations. You just have to ask me if I allow it or not.
Yeah.
I'm pretty lenient with that because I don't see why I wouldn't be, because you're expending a very rare resource.
I mean,
So right now, disadvantage, it's an 11.
That's a success. That's a success, my dude. That you're okay.
The
You,
dice was a nat 20.
This,
Yeah.
this stealth is that low. Huh?
your passive perception's not that high, my dude.
You don't have eyes. You don't have ears.
literally. well,
can smell him, though.
actually, he does. They're just not where his eyes and
That's
ears
true.
normally
yeah.
are.
Yeah. See that puddle over there? I'm winking at you.
Yeah.
With which
Little
eye?
eyeball comes up.
Yeah.
Which log is
The
not
right one, the
unused
left
to-
one, or the brown one?
All right. Anyways.
Yeah. All right. So, that was gross. So,
Not for me. I've got two different colored eyes. It's fine.
okay. Yeah. Okay, all right. Jesus, what is happening? Okay, Log. So you can move your full movement, or no?
no,
I
I can
guess
move
it's
half
stealth.
movement.
So half movement.
We
yeah.
started
Well,
in this
and
really
I'm
stressful
exo-
situation.
Oh shit!
He's exhausted.
Here's what I'll say.
So he's
You
a
can get to
half.
the threshold of the door. How about that? If you want to like try to hide behind the door, you can. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Okay, cool. Then you can do that. You can like
Yeah.
and like get to the doorway and like lean up the back of it, so you're like hiding from the horror creature that you're running from in a horror movie. You still have action and bonus action. Do you want to dash, or do you want to do something?
If I dash, do I get to use the stealth roll I just did?
Yeah, I'd let you do that. Yeah, it doesn't make any reason why I would make you do 2 stealth rolls in the same time, unless they were 2 completely different instances.
So yeah, so I'm just trying to put as much space between me and whatever the fuck is going on as possible.
Which way do you want to go down the hall, left or right?
Or back into the room.
What direction do we originally come from?
You came from the ceiling.
No, but I've been here before.
No,
When-
we didn't
when-
make it all the way down here.
Well,
No,
no,
we
but-
didn't. No, it was only Trishetti and him that made it.
Who I was warned through.
Oh fuck! You're right.
But they did not
we
make
didn't
it that
make
far.
it
They
that
stopped
far. No,
before they
exactly.
got to the room.
Remember I turned
we didn't
around.
get
So now I
the
will
room.
say
Exactly.
roll
we
a
got to the barrier.
Here, roll an easy perception check for me.
I
See if
thought-
you
I
can
didn't
see
even
anything
think
that's
you had it as
recognizable.
we did, but
I thought we got to the barrier.
You
I thought
got
we got to the
close.
barrier.
You got very, very, very close. Which I say, like, there could be something within eyesight that you could recognize. So,
But, I mean, but it's still disadvantage. So
yeah. But
Footprints in
it's
the
it's not
dust,
hard. It's not hard.
tears on the
You just don't
carpet.
like fuck up absolutely.
With the way
Well, yeah,
we're
but it's
rolling
me.
today, that doesn't mean anything.
But he's like, yeah, but it's me.
Yeah, see, that's a 3.
Oh man.
Does he turn around and go back into the room?
No, that's not. I'm not gonna infringe upon his agency. You want to go left or right or back into the room?
What's the perception?
Well, you said you're going
It
away
was a
from
three.
it.
Got
so-
it.
No,
It was-
you rolled a...
You rolled a
I
3.
rolled
What was
3.
the total?
3.
Oh.
Because
Oh.
perception.
Yeah, his wisdom's nothing, guys. That's why he needs a babysitter. Remember?
Which way you want to go?
That's why we don't let Log loose in town
After-
by himself.
At least he didn't go in the hallway and
I
be
think
like,
you're just so messed up that you're dizzy and like your sight is blurry because you're so goddamn exhausted.
That's right. That's left.
Yep. Nowhere.
Ooh,
That's
It's a
right.
squid. Yep.
that's right.
Right.
Yep.
Okay. You go right for I believe it would be half your speed, so 15 feet down the hallway. Okay, you keep track of that for me, please. You're 15 feet down the right side of the hallway. That's Log's turn. That's Eleazar's. That's Cole's. We're done.
Yep.
Argus.
Another doll
Each
check.
one of these things is going to be different. Different types of checks, different types of things, because we go through different stages of what is happening here. You are essentially trying to do what a very powerful hag or a very powerful granny does, which takes a lot of power. Granted, you are in a space that is ethereal, which is kind of making it easier because a soul has been somewhat,
Already
Unburdened?
detached.
metaphysically
soul
removed
also-
from
It's been unburdened a little bit.
Yeah.
Sort
Go
of.
ahead. I'm sorry, what were you saying?
He also pulled away from his physical body by chance.
I'm also clinging to you.
Clinging to your physical thing?
No, I'm clinging to Argus.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the deal. We're going to do, last one was a wisdom saving throw, correct? Now we're going to do a wisdom check. Pretty much what I'm going to say here, it's not a straight wisdom check. This is going to be like as if you rolled a spell attack. Okay? Because first was trying to prevent the doll from taking you instead of Meckel.
Okay.
This one is trying to now make sure the target of this thing like hits Meckel's soul properly. Does that make sense? So you're gonna roll a as if you were doing like produce flame, your spell attack roll.
Just go plus it. It's the same.
Yeah, you roll whatever it is, your wisdom modifier plus your proficiency to this.
Right.
Yeah, and you roll that, and you're we're gonna do it in the tower again. You have to beat a 20. Or you have to get a 20 or higher.
It's a good thing you have all those, world
The
inspirations.
DC goes up every time. So, what's your plus?
8.
8?
So 12 or higher.
Yeah.
12 or higher?
I have 5. Yeah.
5
Do
wisdom.
you
plus
want to
3
roll this, or do you
proficiency.
want me to roll this?
You can roll it.
Okay.
5 wisdom
more-
plus 3 proficiency gives you a 12.
Okay.
Is what he has to hit.
What do you do or say when you do this?
Have they been able to talk?
I mean,
Yeah.
they're still forms. I mean, I haven't tried.
Here
Yeah, I'm just-
is a doll so you can never be lonely. Something for you to hold on to. A piece of me will always be with you.
Your child form.
My younger form.
Yeah, sure. Yes, yes.
The one that didn't have dolls. Will actually cling harder to Argus.
Okay. Okay. Here we go. You need a 12 or higher?
Yep.
This
It's
is
a
not
plus
a
eight.
disadvantage, actually.
It's a
Because
+8.
Plus
Yeah.
8, okay?
So
Why isn't it at...
It's not at disadvantage. The last one was at disadvantage because you were leaning into it. You are still leaning into this attack, kind of, so you're not giving him disadvantage. One was to prevent him from the doll
Oh,
from
okay.
hitting him.
No, I'm not trying to go into the doll. I'm trying to...
That's a 5.
That makes sense.
so it doesn't lock on.
Do you want to use another world inspiration?
No.
So
No.
it's just a doll.
Okay. We're going to resolve that when we get back.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys in a bit. As always, stay safe out there. Bye.
Bye, guys.